office in Lamar's.
Season after season, our community comes together to support our students and the activities they love. At Northwest Bank, we celebrate that commitment, showing up, giving your best, and supporting one another every step of the way. Whether you're chasing financial goals or cheering from the stands, we're here to help you with flexible accounts, personalized service, and a team dedicated to your success. Here's to our student athletes, playing strong and representing our hometown with heart. Northwest Bank, member FDIC.
Bank, commitment you can bank on.
Lamar's Agri-Center, your local source for top-performing Kent feed products, bulk grass seed, bulk bird seed, lawn care essentials, dust control solutions, and much more, all accompanied with exceptional service. The Lamar's Agri-Center, your source for everything that grows.
At American Bank, community is at our core, and that starts with our schools. From classrooms to athletic fields, we're proud to support the students, teachers, and families who shape our communities. Because when schools succeed, communities thrive. At American Bank, we're committed to strengthening our communities, investing in education today to build a stronger tomorrow. American Bank, Lamar's and Remsen, achieving success together. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When it comes to keeping your lawn looking great and having the right equipment to get the job done, think the Campbell's Group. Campbell's Lawn and Landscaping has you covered with professional lawn care and landscaping services. And when you need equipment, repairs, or rentals, turn to Campbell's Rental and Repair, featuring quality Toro products and more. One group, two great ways to get the job done right. Campbell's Group, quality service and quality equipment.
Hi, this is Julie Hurt with Century 21 ProLink in Lamar's, your local real estate expert dedicated to results. Whether buying or selling a home, call me, Julie Hurt, with Century 21 ProLink in Lamar's at 540-7757. That's 540-7757.
It's now time for high school football on 1410 AM, 96.9 FM, KLEM.
Takes the snap and he gives to Kuhn straight ahead in between the hashes. 35 left seam angling to the 25-20. A foot race to the end zone and he's gone. Touchdown, Gehlen Catholic.
High school football.
And there's Drake Hodgson sacking him back in the backfield. Boy, that play got busted big time.
With all the action, here's KLEM Sports Director Daniel Versteeg.
A very pleasant good evening, high school football fans, and we welcome you to the Held Sports Complex here in Hinton, where week one of the high school football season is finally here, and we have a great non-district football matchup for you tonight in a local rivalry as the Gehlen Catholic Jays face off with the Hinton Blackhawks. Again, a very pleasant good evening, football fans, and we welcome you into our Floyd Valley Healthcare pregame show here on KLEM. Alongside TJ Britton, I'm Daniel Versteeg, and we'll be bringing you the action here tonight from Hinton. Taking a look at what these two teams last year did. Gehlen Catholic went 4-6, bowing out of the postseason in the second round after a great win on the road against West Hancock, while Hinton went 6-4, and they lost out in the second round of the playoffs to a very good trainer squad. So, TJ, these two teams in very similar positions last year, and they're in very similar positions this year. Both sides lost some very key pieces, so we'll see a lot of new faces tonight.
Yeah, we will. Look, going into the game, there's some familiar ones, some new ones. It's going to be a good mix. Gehlen speed, Hinton's physicality, a lot of returners on Galen's side up front. It'll be really nice to see. Real competitive game tonight. We're looking forward to.
The guys up front are going to be huge. Mason Small, Drake Hodgson, guys that Coach Schindler's been able to rely on. Of course, you know them very well in baseball. They're big bodies and they're forces when they get up on the line.
Yeah, if they can control up front, control the offense and defensive lines, Gehlen will have a lot of success, I think. We get a lot of grief because they play infield in baseball, and they are offense and defensive linemen, so it is kind of funny to see that.
Yeah, and then how about Wyatt Coons, too? When you return a 1,000-yard back in the backfield, Coach Schindler mentioned that is just so huge for the offense, and of course, you've seen his speed as well.
Yeah, expect big things again this year out of Wyatt. 10 touchdowns last year, over 1,000 yards, good around the edge, quick, elusive, a little guy behind those big linemen, kind of hides behind them if they get a little push. Should see a lot of success out of him this year.
Both teams offensively in a very similar spot, though, in the fact that they both graduated quarterbacks. Now, the big thing for Hinton the last couple of years, they have had some great athletes at quarterback. You think of Gabe Anderson a couple of years ago. He's now at the University of North Dakota. Cole Friesen was their quarterback last year. He ran for over 1,000 yards. He's at Morningside. And now you have, actually, he's a sophomore. I think I put it wrong in my notes. Duncan Mathiasen is the quarterback this year. Sounds like he might want to throw it a little bit more. Carson Schecker for Gehlen might want to throw it a little bit more. This might not be your typical Gehlen-Hinton matchup in years past.
Yeah, I think we'll have to wait and see here. But, watching this pregame a little bit, he is throwing it, the Hinton guy's throwing around a little bit more. Obviously, Galen's probably happy not to see those two other guys back for Hinton. That Anderson kid was really nice to watch, real successful there. And then, with Gehlen, Schecker, I think you have to remain to be seen what we'll see out of him. I think, big, tall kid.
Yep.
They want to keep him kind of in the pocket, I think, a little bit more. Get above them linemen, maybe throw it downfield a little bit. But obviously they'll lean on Wyatt to hopefully open up that passing game for him.
It'll certainly help having both Wyatt and Carson's throwing ability to lead the offense. So it's going to be a great night. It's a gorgeous day. It is some senior night festivities going on in Hinton tonight. And again, it's the start of the non-district schedule. The first of 2 non-district games Gehlen will play. They're also going to host Woodbury Central midway through the season in a non-district game. Hinton still has 2 more, and they'll be playing those consecutively. They have to go to Marcus to play MMCRU next week. So going to be some tough non-district games for the Blackhawks before they host Tri-Center. And then, of course, their district is very difficult as well. So it's going to be a fun night. We're glad you're with us for our coverage here on KLEM. But right now we're going to take a break. Again, this is our Floyd Valley Healthcare pregame show. And when we come back, we're going to chat with Hinton head coach Kadrian Harderson, and then we'll have Gehlen Catholic head coach Jeremy Schindler join us in just a moment as well. So stay tuned. More live coverage of high school football is coming your way in just a few minutes right here on KLEM.
Advanced Eye Healthcare, Dr. Becky DeRuyter knows all of our student athletes need to keep their eye on the ball. Make sure with an eye exam at Advanced Eye Healthcare at Walmart Vision Center in Lamar's. Dr. Becky DeRuyter.
Lamar's Physical Therapy wants to wish our student athletes a successful and injury-free season. But if injury occurs, our therapists are here to get you back into the game. No doctor referral needed. Call us at 546-1718. Lamar's Physical Therapy, your hometown therapy provider. Your home deserves a roof you can count on and siding that looks great for years to come. From a brand new roof to quality siding, Shrunk Roofing has the experience and craftsmanship to protect your home and give it a fresh, finished look. Whether you're building, remodeling, or replacing an aging roof or siding, trust the local team that knows what it takes to get the job done right. Shrunk Roofing, quality roofing and siding built to protect what matters most.
Tonight's pregame coverage is brought to you by Floyd Valley Healthcare in Lamar's. From routine checkups to specialized care, Floyd Valley Healthcare is committed to keeping our communities healthy and strong. Their dedicated team provides exceptional care close to home so you can focus on what matters most. Floyd Valley Healthcare, proud to support our local athletes, students, and communities. Learn more at floydvalley.org. Now, let's get ready for tonight's action.
You're listening to high school football on 1410 AM, 96.9 FM, KLEM.
We welcome you back to our pregame coverage of high school football here on KLEM Radio. We've got a great Week 1 contest for you. And, of course, our pregame coverage is brought to you by Floyd Valley Healthcare. Daniel Versteeg with you, and we're joined by the head coach of the Hinton Blackhawks, Coach Kadrian Harderson. After a great season last year, going to the second round of the playoffs, the Blackhawks are getting ready to go with Gehlen Catholic tonight in their Week 1 non-district matchup. Coach, both teams are kind of in the same boat. You're both coming off a scrimmage, and now here you go. It's the first game that truly counts. So let's start with this. You had your scrimmage last week. What kind of things did you take away from it? How'd you guys get better this week?
I think we walked away from the scrimmage after watching the film. We felt like we got a group of kids that play extremely hard. I think that was the most pleasing thing to see. Anytime you have a pretty new crew where you're starting, 9 and 10 new guys on a respective side of the ball, you always kind of wonder what you have. And there are obviously some mistakes that we can clean up, but it's a lot easier to fix a mistake when a kid's going hard. So I was just really proud of the effort. I think we got a group of kids that are really going to give you everything they got. They're going to play hard, and that was great to see.
You mentioned that work ethic to me in our preview interview a couple of weeks ago as well, talking about the early portion of the season. Have you seen that work ethic then now this week in the sense of you have film to critique, and the guys have been showing that work ethic even when studying film and trying to get better in that regard?
Yeah, for sure. I think, on an individual basis, you try to watch film, with your individual position groups, and these are the things we did well. These are the things we were poor on, need to improve upon, and the guys really took that to heart. I think mentally, they got a lot of mental fortitude here. You know, they're willing to be coached hard and get called out, and they want to improve. I think I said that a couple weeks ago too. You know, they love the work, they love the process of getting better, and they've continued to show that this week. They had a tremendous week of practice, focusing on the flaws and changing, you know, what we have to do to prepare for a very good Gehlen team. But yeah, it's been a great week so far.
I know we'll be talking a little bit about the Jays, obviously knowing that, again, limited knowledge with both of you guys being week one. But let's talk about you guys now going on the offensive side. Of course, it's been well documented, like you said, 9 to 10 new starters on both sides of the ball. Offensively, that includes a quarterback, some running backs, wide receivers. So what kind of things were you guys able to do effectively offensively when you played HMS in your scrimmage last week?
Yeah, I thought we were able to be pretty multiple. We had a lot of kids get the ball, whether it was in the passing game or the running game. You know, quarterback-wise, Duncan showed that he's very prepared for the varsity game. I think he played at a varsity speed, showed that he's really willing and able to read the defense and put the ball where it needs to go on any given play. So that was very encouraging. You know, and then up front, I thought we played pretty well as well, and that was a big question mark coming in. I guess the nice thing is, you know, you got a lot of guys without a lot of experience, but they are a lot of seniors. So it's guys that have been in the program, running the system now for 4 years, and I really think you start to see the benefits of all that time that they put in at the JV level now starting to pay off. Where, you know, we're further ahead than I thought we would be at this point, and that's just a credit to those seniors for sure.
And, of course, in years past, you have been known as a run the football down your throat kind of team, and you do that very effectively the last few years. Talk about that now, maybe adding that second dimension, not to say you were one-dimensional before, but adding a strong second dimension to, really mess with opposing defenses this year.
Yeah, I think as a coach in Class A or 1A football, you always just have to play to your strengths. You know, you can't really say, hey, we're a ground and pound team. You're going to have different kids year to year, and that's definitely the case this year. You know, we feel like we have some fairly athletic linemen who can get out and run a little bit. So we want to use that as much as possible. We feel like we got some guys that can catch the ball, have some good size on the outside, so we want to use that as well. And like I said, a quarterback in Duncan who can really read a defense, and whether it's in the drop back passing game, play action game, sprint boot game, or the RPO game, he's real comfortable with any of that stuff. And it is nice, no matter who you have blocking up front, when you got a kid like Cam Robbins playing running back, I think he's going to have a tremendous year. He's kind of been nursing a groin injury here for the past couple of weeks, but he seems to be 100% and ready to go, so we're excited to see what he can do as well.
I can't wait to see him carry the rock tonight. Should be a great game. We're chatting with Kadrian Harderson, head coach of Hinton Blackhawk football. Flip sides quickly defensively. I know defense sometimes might be a little bit harder to gauge in a scrimmage because you might not always finish through the play. You're trying to keep everybody healthy and things like that. But just tell me about what stood out and what kind of things you've been working on defensively this week.
Yeah, I think what stood out goes back to that effort. On defense, it's all about pursuit. If you can get 11 hats to the ball, or realistically 9 hats to the ball, regardless of if you're fitting right, or if you're stemming to the right gaps, you can be pretty successful at our level. And I think our guys showed that last week. We got a bit on a couple of plays, a couple of RPOs, a couple of holes, but those are things that you can fix. A lot of it was based on the play call. So I was really happy to see their effort and just their effort to the ball. I think that was the most encouraging thing that we took away. On top of that, you saw their improvement last week once we put them on film. So yeah, I'm real excited to see what they can do. Like you said, in a varsity game that matters now. Are they going to step up to that challenge? Are they going to continue to play with that effort and continue to improve play by play? And I think this group will.
Oh gosh, I hope so. And I'm looking forward to it. If we can dive a little bit now into Gehlen Catholic, I know we're kind of really scratching the surface with their guys, but they're in a very similar position to you in the sense that their quarterback is making his first varsity start. He obviously has some experience back there a little bit, but when you go up against a quarterback that is as green and as new as Gehlen's will be, what are some things that you're looking to do defensively to try and make him uncomfortable and make sure that first varsity start doesn't go as planned?
Yeah, I think at the high school level especially, you always want to force the quarterback to read the defense. So being multiple in your coverages, he's a quarterback. He's got pretty good mobility, but he throws the ball pretty well, and he's real good in the boot game, real good when he gets out of the pocket. So I think it's going to be important that we can keep contained on the edge. Whoever our C-gap players are on a given play can keep them in the pocket. That's going to be a huge challenge for us. And then, yeah, like I said, just mixing up our coverages on the back end and communicating that through the defense so that we're all on the same page playing the same game.
And there is a known with them offensively in the sense of why Kuntz in the backfield with that 1,000-yard rusher they return back there. How do you balance now their maybe somewhat newfound ability to throw the ball a little bit more with the fact that they do have a stellar running back there?
Yeah, they're going to stress us a little bit. Kuntz obviously is a very gifted player. He's not big, but boy, if he gets moving downhill, he is tough to catch up to. So we're really going to have to do a great job of being gap sound up front and getting to him before he gets moving north and south. And then, again, pursuit to the ball is what's going to make the play. There's going to be a lot of times where he's going to make the first man miss. He's too good not to. He just will. And, that's one thing. That's obviously not something that you want to see happen, but it's a lot easier to swallow when you've got 3 and 4 other guys there ready to clean up the tackle. So we're just going to have to be tremendous about IDing the play quickly and then running our attack and our pursuit angles and making sure we have good leverage wherever that happens to come from.
Flipping sides of the ball really quick, the main thing I wanted to touch on is you talked about your offensive line as being something that you guys can really build upon and be pretty solid in this year. I know Gehlen returned some good defensive linemen as well. What are some of the things that you have to do to make sure you shore those guys up and give Duncan as much time as possible or Cameron a big hole to run through?
Yeah, I think our H-back play is going to become pretty important tonight. I think Zach Anderson has been playing that position very well, and we're just going to have to use him as our extra polar, so to speak. And then in the pass pro game, you have to be very cognizant of where Mason Small is at all times and where Drake Hodgson is at all times. Those are 2 big-bodied kids that we can't replicate their size, and we can't replicate Mason Small's hands and his feet. He's a very, very gifted player, so that's going to be a big point of emphasis for us all night. Can we identify where he is, and not ask too often kids to block him one-on-one, because that's a tough task for anybody, much less guys who are making their first varsity start. So, yeah, we're going to have to be real buttoned up in that part of the game, and then try to find some holes that we can exploit. Obviously you want to play to your strengths and to their weakness. So we're going to have to be good at, as coaches, of adjusting on the fly and finding out where we can get some positive yards.
It sounds like a great game plan, and of course, with this being another week 1 for you, you've been coaching and playing in week 1s all your life, and so I'll ask you, what are some things specifically with it when it comes to week 1 that separate the team that goes into week 2 1-0 and the team that goes into it 0-1?
I think confidence is a huge thing. I think in a situation like this, you get out there in the first game, the bright lights come on. The game moves faster, and as a player, you just kind of black out. And I think you can't be passive in a game like this. So you have to be aggressive. And I'm not just talking about the way that you play, but also the way that you approach each play. Communication is huge. When you're out there and you feel like you're on an island and nobody's talking to each other, you feel like you're one man out there trying to stop an entire offense or one man out there trying to make a play. But when you start communicating, talking to each other, getting hyped up, playing with a little bit of passion, I think that goes a long way in building that confidence that's necessary in that first week game. I mean, the reality is you're going to have a lot of good plays and you're going to have a lot of bad plays. And you have to be able to flush whatever just happened and move on and give entire focus to this play. This is the only play that matters. So if we can do that, I like our chances.
Well, I hope you can. Hope it's a great game for you guys, and looking forward to the outcome. Coach, we always appreciate your time. Best of luck tonight, and we'll chat afterwards.
Thank you, Dino. Appreciate it.
Yep, my pleasure. That's Kadrian Hardison, the head coach of Hinton Blackhawk football. He joins us on our Floyd Valley Healthcare pregame show. We're back with Gehlen head coach Jeremy Schindler. Get the thoughts on the Jays next here on KLEM. Tonight's pregame coverage is brought to you by Floyd Valley Healthcare in Lamars. From routine checkups to specialized care, Floyd Valley Healthcare is committed to keeping our communities healthy and strong. Their dedicated team provides exceptional care close to home so you can focus on what matters most. Floyd Valley Healthcare, proud to support our local athletes, students, and communities. Learn more at floydvalley.org. Now, let's get ready for tonight's action.
This is Easton Spangler, and you're listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
Well, we welcome you back to our pregame coverage of Gehlen Catholic and Hinton football right here on KLEM. Pregame coverage, of course, brought to you by Floyd Valley Healthcare. Daniel Versteg with you, and we're chatting with the head coach of the Jays, Coach Jeremy Schindler, as his team is getting ready for the first game of the year. They had a scrimmage last weekend in Holstein against Ridgeview and Esterville Lincoln Central, and now getting set to take on the Hinton Blackhawks. All right, Coach, so now you've had a week with some live reps to kind of reference back to, some film to look at least of yourselves anyway. What are some of the things that stood out, and how have you gone about attacking it here the last week in practice?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, first off, I think we're very fortunate that we get to have these kind of scrimmages against other teams now. I think that's a great thing that the state allows us to do, because you're going to, you hopefully, if you do things the right way, hopefully you see a massive amount of improvement from that scrimmage, until your first game, and then hopefully you carry that in from week 1 to week 2. It used to be week 1 to week 2 was always the biggest improvements. Well, now I think if you analyze your scrimmage film correctly and you make the proper adjustments and teach the correct things, you can see that improvement, happen even from scrimmage to week 1. I think that's the biggest thing, especially for me. You got breaking in a new quarterback and just trying to understand, what does he do well? What does Carson do well? And then take those and build the offense around that. While continuing to work to improve all aspects of his game. Early on in the season, you want to really focus on what does he do well for us from a passing game standpoint, and then try and work towards those things.
Well, let's piggyback off of that on the offensive side. What did he do well last week in that scrimmage?
Yeah, I think one of the things, I think he throws a good hard flat ball. I think he understands where he's supposed to go with the football. I think sometimes an area that can get him into trouble is when, movement in the pocket. Sometimes, it just takes reps, getting comfortable behind that offensive line and trusting them that they're going to do a good job. We've worked on some pocket movement this week. And then also, being able to step into that deep ball. I think he throws a good deep ball when he gets his feet set and he really drives the ball downfield. But sometimes he'll have a tendency to throw off of his back foot if he feels a little pressure. And those are just little things that he just has to get more comfortable within the offense. But he really did a good job in our play action game, in our bootleg series, made some really good plays getting outside of the pocket. And then obviously a little RPO action. He does a good job of throwing that good hard flat ball over the middle or on in-breaking routes. And so really we just want to try and accentuate those.
I feel like this is the most we have talked about a quarterback of yours throwing the football effectively and throwing it as well as it sounds like Carson's done. And I saw a little bit of his highlights from the scrimmage. I thought he threw the ball pretty well. First time we've had this since probably Connor Kraft. Do you foresee, not to compare him to Connor, but do you foresee an offense that you could run that is well balanced, similar to the one where Connor was at quarterback and you guys were able to run and throw very effectively?
Yeah, I think with Connor, we had that ability. We were a little bit more I formation, and a lot of it was when we threw the ball, it was play action, throw it deep to a kid like Keaton Bonderson or Keaton Logan, and those guys, or Ryan Augustine over the middle. I think one of the other things Carson does really well is he gets the ball out quick. So I think you could. We're hoping that the outside screen game to the wide receivers can be a little bit more effective than it has in years past. He does a good job of getting the ball out quickly and delivering a decently accurate ball. And then now it's our receivers' job to get upfield and get what you can. No dance and just get upfield. So we obviously want to be more balanced. We're not going to go away from Wyatt Kuntz, though. I mean, he's a great tailback for our football team, and we obviously want to make sure that he gets his touches. But hopefully, if Carson's able to throw the ball like he has been over this past week, defenses can't solely key on the run, and that's going to be the goal of our offense.
Jeremy Schindler's with us, head coach of Gehlen Catholic football, on our pregame coverage tonight. Of course, normally throughout the season, we like to highlight the opponent a lot, and we will a little bit, but of course you're both in the same boat with both teams coming off scrimmages. So if we talk about your side again a little bit, defensively, what kind of things stood out from the scrimmage, and what were some key takeaways about that side of the ball?
Yeah, I was pretty pleased with our up front guys, our defensive line. I thought Drake Hodgson and Mason Small had really good nights. We did rotate them quite a bit in terms of letting other guys play, but you could definitely tell when they were off the field. They make a really big difference on that defensive line. I thought Easton Spangler had a pretty good night in the middle of our defense at middle linebacker. Colden Wilson was another one. We're kind of moving him back and forth between a defensive end and a linebacker. And I thought at defensive end, he hasn't really played that a lot, but I actually thought he showed some really good instincts there and good technique. And so he could be a surprise for us there. Our secondary, Drake Knipe really kind of stood out. He made a couple plays on the ball, and that's kind of what we want our secondary to do is when the ball's in the air, you got to go get it, whether that's knocking it down or even better, go intercept it.
If we look now at Hinton a little bit, the big storyline I've heard from Coach Harderson and a lot of folks in Hinton this year has been all the pieces that they graduate. So it's kind of a giant question mark where they're at for a couple of different reasons. But as you prepare for a game like this, whether it's in week 1 or week 8, I guess, whatever it might be, when you don't know a whole lot or scheme-wise not a whole lot presents itself right away, how do you go about preparing, and does anything change with your preparation with less knowledge maybe than you're used to?
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost you have to focus on yourself as a team, and there's plenty of areas that we can focus on and get better at, being more physical at the point of attack, tackling better, playing the ball in the air, whether it's on offense or defense. Those are obviously first and foremost on your mind. But you definitely want to make sure you give your guys different looks. We made sure you can always look back at last year's film. I mean, it is the same coaching staff. I don't see them being completely different. I still think their principles will be the same in terms of what they want to do on offense and defense. So you can look at, here's what they looked like when they got into a heavier set with more tight ends and fullbacks. Here's what they looked like when they were more of a spread, had more wide receivers on the field. And you can kind of draw some conclusions from that. On the defensive side of the ball, you want to make sure you show an odd and an even front and just make sure your linemen understand the differences between those. So you really just got to kind of prepare for a little bit of everything, and then it just comes down to, on Friday night being able to make those adjustments in game. Like, okay, as a coach, as a play caller, I probably got to have a couple different plans in my head. This is plan A. If they're doing this, these are the types of runs and passes I want to execute. If they're playing like this, these are the runs and passes that I want to execute. So just having a couple different plans and making sure, everybody is as comfortable as they can be with those plans.
Jeremy Schindler once again is with us, the head coach of Gehlen Catholic Football on our Floyd Valley Healthcare pregame show. Just looking quickly offensively at the Blackhawks, and again, we don't have to do a big deep dive, but a new quarterback back there as well. New targets to throw to. I think the running back relatively stays similar with the Robbins kids. But specifically with the quarterback, a younger quarterback making his first varsity start. What are some of the things that you're looking to do defensively to throw him off his game?
This is Eddie Venegas, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
Well, you welcome me back to Hinton in week 1 of the high school football season. We do apologize that we had to cut our interview off with Jeremy a little bit short. We're a little up against it. Kickoff is about ready to take place. The coin toss was won by Gehlen. The Jays elected to defer their choice to the second half. And so Hinton will be getting the football first. And we thank you for keeping it tuned on our Floyd Valley Healthcare pregame show. A great conversation with both Kadrian Harderson and Jeremy Schindler. Again, alongside TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. Just about ready to get this one underway. Gehlen will be kicking from right to left as we view it, and Hinton will be returning left to right. Kyler Van Voorst has the ball teed up at his own 40-yard line, and this week 1 contest is underway with a line drive, end-over-end kick. This sails back to the 5-yard line, and it's run out by Connor Kramer to the right seam, 15-20. Right numbers 25 to the 30, gets toward the boundary, sheds a tackle, 35-40, runs up along the sideline near midfield, and he's tackled out of bounds. Connor Kramer with a great run back. He is spotted across midfield at the Gehlen 49-yard line. Good return, and the Blackhawks have great field position early.
Yeah, that was a nice kick by Van Voorst there. Maybe outkicked the coverage a little bit there. Couldn't get down there in time to secure that tackle.
Tough break there for Gehlen, and now Hinton has 1st and 10. Ball spotted at their own 49-yard line. And here comes the varsity debut of quarterback Duncan Mathiasen, just a sophomore. And we'll see what he can do in the black and gold for Hinton. Cameron Robbins is his back off his left hip, a tight end along the left side of the formation. Now we got a penalty flag thrown right away. And, well, what do we have? Do we have too many men or something? Some kind of pre-snap penalty. I think we have an encroachment penalty right away, so a 5-yard penalty, and that's going to assist Hinton. Now they're going to have 1st and 5 from the Gehlen 44.
We hate to see that right away for sure.
Now, one of the things we didn't get to air with Jeremy Schindler was he talked about staying mistake-free as much as you can in week 1. Now Anderson motions out of the backfield, quick swing pass left side, gets to him, and he carries along the left hash. He's got a 1st down to the 36-yard line, 8-yard pickup, and the Blackhawks move the chains.
Yeah, that's a nice quick pass by Mathiasen there. Gehlen got out there, just can't secure that 1st tackle.
And Zach Anderson's a big kid to bring down. Of course, we've seen what his older brothers can do, Derek and Gabe. Boy, they were some outstanding football players. There's just footballs running through the blood of the Anderson boys. 1st and 10 for Hinton at the Gehlen 36-yard line. 2 receivers now to the right side, a pistol formation for Mathiasen with Cameron Robbins directly behind him. He motions Anderson, the tight end left to right along the line, and now a penalty flag is thrown once again just before the snap got off. And boy, this is on Gehlen once again. No, this will be on Hinton this time.
Well, they got one back there. That's good. Sets them up a little 1st and 15 there.
Well, and you knowing Jeremy Schindler and my conversations with Coach Harderson, these early penalties pre-snap got to drive them nuts.
Yeah, I can only imagine what the sideline sounds right now.
Probably not fit for radio at this point. I know it's early in the season, but certainly something that neither coach wanted to deal with here early. So 1st and 15 for Hinton. Ball's at the Gehlen 41-yard line. Pistol formation. Anderson motions left to right across the line. And Mathiasen takes the snap. Speed option right. He pitches over to Cameron Robinson. Right seam across the 35-30. Stiff arms the defender. 25-20. Robbins down the sideline. 10-5 to the pylon. He knocks the pylon over. He's in for a Hinton touchdown. Cameron Robbins with a 41-yard score on the option pitch, and Hinton's on the board first. It's 6-0 Blackhawks.
Yeah, he got around the outside edge there and one guy to beat, and he beat him, that's for sure. Hate to see that big a hole that early.
So 41-yard rushing touchdown for Cameron Robbins, and right away, Hinton strikes just a few plays into their season now with 10:53 left to go in the 1st quarter. And the Blackhawks will line up for the point after kick. Looks like it's going to be Grayson Sitzman to attempt the point after. Off of the hold of Zach Anderson. We'll see if they can convert. Snap and spotter down. The kick is blocked. And Gehlen got a hand up there to block the kick. Point after try, no good. And so your score, 10:53 in the 1st, 6-0. Hinton on top. Jays will have a chance to respond offensively. Coming up next, stay tuned. You're listening to High School Football on KLEM.
Men's fashions, tuxedo rentals, and dry cleaning services. That's Measures Clothing, downtown Lamar's. Open weekdays 9 till 5:30, Saturdays 9 till 4. See Chad for all your fashion needs. That's Measures in the middle, downtown Lamar's.
Young and old alike enjoy the competition of high school sports. Some participate, some watch, and some remember how it was. It's only a game, but it offers great life lessons and memories that last a lifetime. A few thoughts from Dan and Lori Rexwinkle of Rexwinkle Funeral Homes in Lamar's and Akron.
Tail Trends Dog Grooming supports all of our area high school athletes. At Tail Trends Grooming, your pet is sure to get spa-like treatment, bathing, grooming, and nail trimming available. Contact Tail Trends Dog Grooming today at 546-7318.
This is Drake Hodson, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
Well, we welcome you back to Hinton alongside TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. Just 2 plays into the new season, Cameron Robbins with a 41-yard touchdown run, and the Blackhawks are up 6-0 early after the point after kick by Grayson Sitzman was blocked at the Gehlen Catholic line. So now Hinton will be kicking off to Gehlen, left to right. Sitzman will once again be handling the kicking duties for the Blackhawks, this time on kickoff. He approaches and sends a high right-footed pooch kick. Tarek Mayrose lines it up at the 26. He starts on the left side, trying to angle back toward the right. He's running backwards inside the 20. 25, tries to spin out of a tackle, and he does all that to barely get back where he started. And now Gehlen will start 1st and 10 of the 25.
Yeah, you can see they're setting up the kickoff right there, and he just couldn't get around that edge. They kind of blew it up early and kind of set up where Gehlen could get outside there.
And that's a tough break too, TJ, because the lineup to kick return right is set right before the kickoff, and so if they kick it left, it kind of blows your plan up.
Yeah, not much you can do there for Tarek, Did the best he could.
Yep, he tried to make something out of it. Now here's Carson Schecker, who will line up for his first snaps in a Gehlen Catholic starting quarterback role anyway. He lines up with Wyatt Kuntz, that 1,000-yard rusher, directly to his right in the shotgun. 2 receivers on either side of the formation for the Jays in their white jerseys and yellow pants. High snap to Schecker, gets it down, sweeps it left for Wyatt Kuntz, trying to turn the corner, and he does. Toward the left sideline, lowers his shoulder, and he gets upended at the 29-yard line. A good tackle by Colin Dunkel. 4-yard gain will make it 2nd and 6.
Yeah, Schecker back in the shotgun there, but not surprised that they give Wyatt the first carry of the season there. Off the left-hand side of their big tackle.
Touched the ball 189 times on the ground last year. Well, he was a really good rusher, 1,120 yards. He was 4th in the district in rushing touchdowns last year, 2nd in rushing yards.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see that play again tonight.
No, I think so. Now they go under center. Schecker under center, single back behind him in Kuntz. 2 receivers left and right. Takes the snap, gives to Kuntz. Straight ahead up the middle. Tries to bounce it outside 1 tackle, and he's able to push his way. A decent gain on a carry up the middle. Gets to the 33. A pickup of 4 will make it 3rd and long 2.
Yeah, not much movement up front yet, but Wyatt did a nice job finishing that run, falling forward, getting what he could out of that run. That was nice.
So it's 6-0 Hinton here on the American Bank scoreboard. 9:43 to go in the first quarter of this non-district game, 1 of 2 that the Jays will play. They'll start district play next week at home at Jim Lorenzen Field against Sibley Ocheyedan. And that one is 3rd and 2.
Really to see a first down here, Daniel.
Yes. Yeah, that's going to be huge. See if the Jays can stay on the field, keep a consistent drive going. Schecker lines up under center once again with a single back behind him, tight ends left and right. Takes the snap, gives to Kuntz straight ahead, trying to get back to the line again. He does fall forward. He is very close, but I think he's short. They're going to give him a yard to the 34. That'll make it 4th down and 1.
That was tough running again, tough sledding up front. Need to get a little bit better push up front, later in the game. Hopefully that's what we see. Too bad there. It looked like maybe spot wasn't fantastic, but I think he was short anyway.
I think so, yeah. And so Gehlen's going to line up to punt. And I think even if the spot was good, it'd probably be a foot from the yard to gain versus maybe the whole yard.
Still a tough decision to go for it in that scenario and on that side of the 40.
Yeah, you're so deep on your end of the field. So Gehlen's going to go 3 and out. They're going to line up to punt. At least that's what we assume anyway. We'll see. Colton Wilson, the junior, will punt this one away. He takes a snap, runs up, and gets a good line drive. Wobbling punt. It's run up and fielded at the 31-yard line. And this is Connor Kramer again. He had a great kick return, but he is stopped this time at the 38-yard line. About a 7-yard return on the punt. Hinton will have it with 8:29 to go in the first, up 6-0 at their own 38.
Yeah, we need Gehlen to wrap up that first guy that gets the ball and make that tackle. Hinton's broke quite a few tackles already tonight. It'd be nice to see if that first guy that gets there can at least stand him up till the guys corral around him.
Yeah, of course you want a gang tackle at some point in a game like this and make sure everybody's kind of swarming to the football, especially if the Blackhawks will continue to run it like they did and had so much success in that first drive.
Yeah, definitely. Need them guys to wrap up and get them other guys there, the big guys there.
So 1st and 10 for Hinton. Ball's at their own 38-yard line. 2 receivers line up along the right side. A couple of tight ends on the left side. And a single back in the backfield is Cameron Robbins with Mathiasen in the gun. Helmet high snap he gives to Robbins, trying to bounce it off the left side. Sheds a tackle in the backfield, breaks another in the middle of the play. Across the 45, he's dragging a J near the line to Gay, and he's finally dragged down to the 47-yard line. Pickup of 9 there for Robbins. It'll be 2nd and 1.
Yeah, that was a really nice run there. Made contact about 3 yards downfield and then drug the guys about another 5 or 6 yards.
Yeah, I think at this point you're right, TJ, in the fact that Gehlen has not been able to tackle very well, and I know you run into those issues in week 1. They are going to take a look at the measurement here. That was a bit closer to the line to gain than I initially thought. And so our refereeing crew already being tested with the chain gang just a little bit, and they might bring this out. Yeah, they're going to say 2nd and 1, or 2nd and a foot, maybe. Now they are going to bring the chains out, see if it did get to the line to gain. So have a bit of a stoppage in the action. Do want to remind you that we're going to keep you up to date on as many high school football games around the listening area as possible. MMCRU at Akron Westfield tonight, and they are going to give a first down here to Hinton. They just had enough to move the chains. So we're going to keep you up to date on that game. Kingsley Pearson's playing Bishop Garrigan, Remsen St. Mary's against Audubon, and of course, Lamar's Community welcomes in Council Bluffs Abraham Lincoln to town tonight in a good non-district matchup for the Bulldogs. So we'll keep you abreast on as many of those games throughout the night as we can right here on KLEM.
We need a big stop here on this first down. Knock them back a little bit, maybe kill some momentum a little bit here for the Jays.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Galen's got to get off the field defensively. Blackhawks have moved the ball so well. 1st and 10 for the 48. Two backs in the backfield. They motion Robbins out of there. Mathiasen gives this time to Zach Anderson straight ahead, and the Jays wrap him up nicely. That's Colton Wilson and Easton Spangler on the stop for maybe just a yard, and it'll be 2nd and 9.
Yeah, that was nice. You could see the linebackers flowed that way immediately, so they definitely read that correctly. And then Colton just kind of filled that void there at the end and then waited for guys to come in and help him. That was a nice play.
7:38 to go in the first quarter. Hinton has a 6-0 lead early on Gehlen Catholic on our American Bank scoreboard. And now it's 2nd down and 9 for the Blackhawks. The ball is spotted at their own 49-yard line, so just shy of getting across midfield and putting themselves in a potentially good spot offensively. Here is Mathiasen in the pistol. 2 receivers either side. Takes a snap, drops to throw, rifles right seam, and the ball is deflected away. A great job in coverage by Chase Christoffel. He swats it away from Spee, so it'll be 3rd and 9.
Man, I thought he had that, Daniel. That was a good play. That was a good read. Defensive line did a nice job standing them guys up, getting their hands up, and Chase almost had a big play for the Jays there.
That would have been a huge one for the senior. He's looked good already at the outside linebacker position and doing a nice job in coverage with a good receiving target too in Dawson Spees. So 3rd and 9, going to be a tough down to get for the Blackhawks, who lead this one 6-0. Out of the shotgun is Duncan Mathiasen. 2 receivers to the right, tight end right, and a 1 receiver to the left side of the formation. Now they motion Anderson to the left side as a tight end. The Jays line up 5 along the line. They bring them. Here's Mathiasen dropping back, dump it off to Robbins. He's still in the backfield, sheds 1 tackle there, tries to fight through more, and the Jays wait for their friends to join them. The initial hit from Grant Arns, finally brought down by Easton Spangler. Only a yard on the swing pass to Robbins. It'll be 4th and 8. Now the Blackhawks punt.
That's what we were talking about, Daniel. They're waiting for the guys to come in and clean it up, just kind of stand him up. He's a nice runner, big, strong, kind of sheds that first guy every time so far. So, stand him up and wait for Spangler to come in and clean it up for you.
And we'll see if Wyatt Coons' ability on special teams that showed last year at times, if that is on display once again. And he's going to need a good return to give the Jays some good field position here, as Grayson Sitzman will be punting from his own 35 with the line of scrimmage at the 50. Wyatt Coons standing at his own 15. The snap is good to Sitzman. Gets away a right-footed kick, sending it into the wind. Coons runs up, fields it with a fair catch, and he will be spotted down, they'll say, right at his own 30-yard line. So the wind aids Gehlen there, just a net of 20 yards on the punt. And now Galen's offense needs to get going. As you said, TJ, they were trying to get a first down on their first drive, went 3 and out. This is a drive you'd like to sustain a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a little momentum back. They got that first down on the first play last drive, but then shut them down after that. So have decent field position here. Got to steal that momentum back, establish that run, need to establish the up front. The big guys need to establish some movement, get those defensive line movements so we can get some guys downfield.
Gehlen Catholic with a 6-0 deficit to overcome, and here's Carson Schecker in the shotgun. 2 receivers on either side. Helmet high snap, drops back, quick pass right side, hit is caught. Drake Knipe running outside the right numbers across the 35, and he is out of bounds at the 37-yard line. That's a good gain on first down for 7 yards. It's 2nd and 3.
Hey, that was the same formation that we saw on the first play of the first drive, so that was nice to see that they changed it up a little bit, get guys out in space, made a guy miss, and had a big gain there, so that was nice to see.
And I think for Carson too, his first pass, a completion, that's got to be big for his confidence.
Yeah, I would say first game, first year as a starter, get it out of your system,
Get on the board, I guess, if you will. 6-0 Hinton, and it's 2nd and 3 for the Jays at their own 37-yard line. Schecker under center, single back, turns and gives to Coons. He gets past the first wave. He's got a first down across the 40, pushes Blackhawks across the 45, and he's finally ruled down to the 46. That is a gain of 9 for Wyatt Coons. It is a Gehlen Catholic first down. Our first downs in tonight's game are brought to you by Hy-Vee.
That was a really nice run there by Wyatt. Like we said earlier, definitely finishes runs. The guys up front are now finally moving some guys a little bit. It's good to see. So hopefully Wyatt can continue that success up through the middle there, and then we get them outside here and there every now and then.
Big first down for the Jays. And now it's 1st and 10 from their own 46-yard line. Under center, Carson Schecker, single back in the backfield. 2 tight ends left, 2 receivers out wide right. Blackhawks show a blitz. They do bring it, and now a penalty flag is thrown by our umpire in the middle of the field. And so we'll see what the official call is. This is going to back the Jays up. I think we got a false start.
It looked like a little movement up front there. Looked like somebody was probably trying to pull, so trying to get a little head start there.
Just a little bit. And that will back the Jays up. They'll have 1st and 15 from their own 41-yard line.
Well, you hate to see that after a first down, but you know, at least it's only first down, and we still have the 3 downs to get it, I suppose, right?
Yeah, you still get as many chances as you can. And this is, again, a big drive for the Jays. They're trying to tie this one up here in the first quarter. 1st and 15 from their own 41. Blackhawks once again show the blitz. They do bring 5, pitch it left. Coons trying to get outside, now cuts it back into his blockers. He stood up amongst a swarm of football players, and he's brought down to the 45. A pickup of 4 will make it 2nd and 11.
You know, could have been stopped there for about a 2-yard loss and just kind of cut it up a little bit. Defensive end, outside linebacker stayed home and filled the gap really nicely, and Wyatt cut it up and, you know, was able to get a decent chunk out of there.
I believe it was Braden Anderson who made that stop, that outside linebacker for Hinton. And now it is 2nd and 11 for the Jays. Ball spotted at the Blackhawk 40, or at the Gehlen 45-yard line, I beg your pardon. Still on Galen's territory. Got to get across midfield yet to have any chance of converting. Single back in the backfield, Schecker under center, receivers on either side, and now a penalty flag is thrown once again. And again, I think this will be movement on the on the Jays, excuse me. Hinton was pointing it out right away.
Yeah, they looked like they're bringing a guy on a blitz there and kind of got one that looked like the off the guard jump, maybe Venegas there.
Yeah, so that'll be the 3rd penalty assessed on Gehlen in this game. 1 on defense, now 2 offensively on this drive alone. And they've all been kind of ticky-tack penalties at this point.
Yeah, self-inflicted wounds, you know. Hate to see that. It's more of just a discipline thing right now. You know, first game, though, a little jitters probably too. So they'll clean it up, I would think.
I was going to say, it's kind of inevitable that the first game of the season you're going to have a lot of mistakes that you got to work out. 3:50 to go in the first quarter. Hinton leads Gehlen 6-0, and now it's 2nd and 16 from the Gehlen 40-yard line. And now another penalty flag is thrown.
Wyatt was pointing something out, and then the flag went, so... Yeah, it looks like Hinton did something.
It's going to be against Hinton. It is a dead ball penalty, though. And we'll see what this call is. No, it is against Gehlen. Another 5-yard penalty against the Jays. The referee was pointing over to Hinton at one point.
I think he got Wyatt for raising his hand. Maybe movement? Oh, delay of game.
A delay of game is called. The play clock was not down, so I do wonder if there was something in the sense of, like you said, maybe trying to distract the defense a little bit. Disconcerting signals is sometimes what it's called. 2nd and 21 from the 35. High snap. It goes over Schecker's head. He's got a fall on it. Did he get it back? He did, just barely, falling back at the 27-yard line. That's a loss of 8. It's going to be 3rd and nearly 30 to go.
To see that after that first down on that previous drive there, play there, and now we've just gone backwards 25 yards.
Yeah, at this point, it's been not good. A couple of penalties. Did have a nice gain after 1 penalty, and now a couple of penalties back-to-back with a bad snap. So now it's 3rd and 29 for the Jays. Ball at their own 27-yard line. Under center, Schecker, 2 receivers on either side, and Carson takes the snap, hands it off left side. Coons running up the left seam across the 30 to the 35, and he'll be stopped at about right at the 35-yard line. Gain of 8 for Coons, nowhere near the line to gain, so it'll be a punting situation for Gehlen.
Kind of an expected call there, though. Just something safe, get a little bit back, get out of your own end zone, maybe get a little bit better field position on defense and try to shut them down there. So probably the right call and kind of expected for sure.
Yeah, and you could also have the viewpoint of, well, if they're going to maybe be on prevent defense, you could probably make something happen in the open field. But nothing doing there that time. And now Colden Wilson lining up to punt. Connor Kramer's back to return, as is Cameron Robbins. Wilson gets a good long snap, and he gets the punt away. Right-footed wobbler. This has some good hang time on it. It's fielded inside the 25 by Robbins. Carries up the left seam across the 30. Breaks the tackle 35. Tackle from behind near the 40. And Tarek Mayrose runs him down right at the 40-yard line. Good return once again for Hinton, this time from Cameron Robbins. The Blackhawks will have 1st and 10, although we are going to have a hydration break, it looks like. So it's a bit of a warmer day today. They're going to take some time for these kids to get rested. We'll take some time as well. 2:14 to go in the first. Hinton has the ball at their own 41, up 6-0. We're back with more high school football next on KLEM.
Make sure you can see the ball clearly. Schedule your annual eye exam today at Gehlen Family Eye Care, downtown Lamars. They'll treat you like family, and they have the most stylish eyewear selection in town. Gehlen Family Eye Care.
Certified public accountants Cruz & Cruz extend their support to all the athletes and remind everyone, in the spirit of sports, participation is more important than winning. Cruz & Cruz Accounting, proud to be a sponsor of KLEM Sports. Kemp's Dairy of Lamars is a proud supporter of area athletics. They focus on strong, healthy bodies with all their dairy products, and they continue to strive hard to provide the best possible dairy products to their customers. That's Kemp's Dairy of Lamars.
This is Chase Christoffel, and you're listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
And we welcome you back to the Held Sports Complex here in Hinton. It is a gorgeous night for high school football. We're glad you're with us on KLEM Radio or watching on the KLEM Radio YouTube channel. And we thank our great sponsors for bringing you that coverage, like Northwest Bank, Julie Hurt at Century 21 ProLink, the Campbell's Group, and Shrunk Roofing. With TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. 2:14 to go in the first quarter. Hinton has a 6-0 lead over Gehlen Catholic. And right now, the Blackhawks, as we were talking about in the break there, TJ, they've been the beneficiary of Gehlen really hurting themselves.
Yeah, a lot of self-inflicted wounds. Need to clean that up. Hopefully we can here going forward, but hopefully maybe that little break there in the action, little water break, kind of gave them a rejuvenation here.
Yeah, on a hot day, it certainly is needed. 1st and 10 of the 41. Duncan Mathiasen, shotgun snap, quick pass, right seam. That is caught across midfield. The penalty flag thrown as the ball comes out, and Gehlen scoops it up at the 44. The pass was caught by Mason White. As he was running up the field, he coughed up the ball. There's a penalty in the midst of all of it as well. So there's a little bit to decipher here before we can figure out what's the situation.
Yeah, I didn't really see what they did there. The guy was kind of in open space, so I don't think there was a face mask or anything like that right away. I'm hoping it's a holding there on the outside is what it, I would think it would be, but I guess we'll see.
They called offensive pass interference against Hinton, and the penalty is declined. Gehlen will take the fumble. They'll have 1st and 10 at their own 43.
Yeah, that's probably a pick play there. The guy was pretty open there on that cover 2 there. But he was a little more open than you think. The linebacker typically would be there, so probably ran a little pick play there and kind of cut him off.
Yeah, you can really decipher that based on where the route went. It was a very short pass.
Right, and there really wasn't many guys in the area when he caught it. And in a coverage like that, it was so quick, you'd think there'd be a few guys there. So it's probably the right call. Good call there for us.
Well, now you wonder if this will spark the Jays a little bit. They have 1st and 10 from their own 43 and have the football offensively. Schecker under center, turns and gives. Kuhn sweeping off the right side. He gets off tackle and is able to get something out of it across the 45. He's at the 46. A gain of 3 makes it 2nd and 7.
Haven't seen many go to the right side there for Wyatt, so it's nice to see him change it up a little bit. Obviously getting a heavy dose of him. Need to kind of establish that run, especially after the big fumble recovery, decent field position. Need to kind of get something going here for him. Get a little more momentum, get some offensive momentum here.
Well, they took the first step toward that on their last drive with a 1st down, but as we just talked about, penalties, bad snaps, all of it kind of came to roost, and the Jays weren't able to do anything with their last drive. Now 2nd and 7 for Gehlen from their own 46-yard line. I formation, Schecker under center, turns and gives to the fullback running off the left side. That is Chase Christoffel, and now he coughs up the ball. Hinton scoops it up. Dawson Spies has it, and the Blackhawks will take over at the Gehlen 48.
Yeah, I don't think he ever secured that ball. It looked like it was loose there from the handoff, and then made contact immediately at the line of scrimmage there, and Chase unfortunately couldn't hold on to it.
So Chase Christoffel cops up the ball. Dawson Spies came out of the wash with it, and turnovers breed turnovers. The Blackhawks will take advantage of it, getting the ball back at the Gehlen 48. So it's almost like it worked out that they completed that pass that ended up being an offensive pass interference and a penalty. 1st and 10 for Hinton. Ball is at the Gehlen 48-yard line with the Blackhawks leading 6-0 and 1:25 to go in the first quarter. That courtesy of our American Bank scoreboard. Here's Duncan Mathiasen. He lines up in the shotgun. A back off his left hip and Cameron Robbins. 2 receivers left, tight end and receiver right. Helmet high snap. A 3-step drop. Mathiasen passes left side, caught by Spies along the left sideline. He's got a very modest gain of 2 yards to the 46. That makes it 2nd and 8.
Yeah, you like to see that. They've had some success throwing the ball and getting the ball to the outside in general, so you like to see that. That's probably their shortest gain on the outside, obviously, other than that fumble on the last play. It was nice to see for the Jays to get out there and tackle him, too. First guy that made contact helped bring him down, so that was nice to see.
And that really has not happened tonight at all for Gehlen's defense. It's taken a couple of different guys to get to the football and make the stop. Now 2nd and 8 for Hinton. 3 receivers to the right. You got a tight end or a receiver split out wide to the left at the Gehlen 46. Out of the shotgun, Mathiasen. He's quickly bootlegging to his right, looking to throw along the right sideline. That is caught, and that time it's wide across the 40. He's out of bounds, pushed out by Grant Arns at the 36-yard line, but there's a penalty flag way behind the play. And by the body language of some Blackhawks, I think this is on Hinton.
Yeah, Grant got beat a little bit there on the outside. He's trailing that back out there, that wide receiver, and unfortunately they made that nice little 5-yard out complete and then had a nice little run, but hopefully this penalty comes back and helps the Jays get some field position back.
It is a block below the waist, a chop block. And a big penalty. It's in the spot, TJ, where you normally think about maybe a roughing the passer call, but that is a huge, huge penalty for him. This will back him up all the way to their own 39-yard line. It's a 15-yard loss.
Boy, both teams really a lot of self-inflicted wounds here. Obviously, first game jitters, just, first game in general. So hopefully we clean it up here as the quarters go on, but, trading blow for blow here, basically.
40 seconds left to go in the first quarter, and Gehlen trails Hinton 6-0. It's now 2nd and 23 from the Hinton 39-yard line. Here's Mathiasen, a high snap, deep drop, looks to throw middle. That is caught. Cameron Robbins upended across the 40 to the 45-yard line. Just a 6-yard pickup. That'll make it 3rd and 17.
Man, if he held on to that another quarter second or so, I think Drake had a big play. He almost had a sack on him. He's right there. I think we can expect more out of that from Drake. Obviously, we still got a long ways to go, so it's nice to corral the guy in the middle. But I'd like to see that the defensive lineman get in there. That was nice to get the pressure on him.
Yeah, if last year's any indication, Drake could have a big year defensively. He had 9.5 sacks last year. That was tops in District 1 in Class A. And Hinton's going to take this one into the quarter break. They'll contemplate a 3rd and 17 play. We'll see what they come up with on the other side. 1 quarter in the books, and Hinton leads Gehlen Catholic 6-0. Stay tuned. We're back with more high school football coverage next year on KLEM.
Wagner Auto Supply is proud to support our area athletes and their families. As you travel from game to game, take care of your vehicle with new filters, batteries, windshield wipers, and wiper fluid from Wagner Auto Supply, 1st Street Northwest, Lamars.
A home is a safe place to be, a roof over your head, and 4 walls to keep out the heat and cold. It's a child's laughter, a mother's song, and a father's strength. It's where we go for comfort and to share joy. It's your first school and your first church. It's where memories are shared. Hi, this is Julie Hurt, your Century 21 ProLink real estate agent. Whatever a home means to you, I am here to help you find the home you are looking for. Call 540-7757 and let me, Julie Hurt, help you make a house your new home.
Get more because you deserve more with Kylie Petty's Century 21 ProLink, serving Lamar since 2011. Wishing our local teams a successful season. Visit KyliePetty.com for your real estate needs.
This is Mason Small, and you're listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
And we welcome you back to the Health Sports Complex in Hinton alongside TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. We are 1 quarter through this opening week matchup, week 1 of the high school football season. And the Hinton Blackhawks, 2 plays into the game, scored a touchdown. That's held to this point. 6-0 lead for the Blackhawks early. We've had a number of penalties. We've had a turnover for both sides. Both teams have coughed up the football. So all in all, kind of your stereotypical week 1 game, right?
Yeah, not much offense yet. Thank goodness for the penalties to keep them kind of both in it.
Right.
Otherwise, who knows? But yeah, I'd like to see them both clean it up a little bit, get a little offensive momentum going, maybe even for both sides, get a little bit more exciting. But right now, yeah, they're just trading penalty for penalty or turnover for turnover, basically.
And Hinton, of course, had a big penalty right at the end of the first quarter. They have 3rd and 17 from their own 45. Deep drop back. Mathiasen looking to air it out. Takes a shot over the left sideline. Well overthrows his target. He was looking for Max Costello along the left sideline on his first snap. It'll be 4th and 17. Blackhawks have to punt.
Yeah, nice coverage by Van Vors and Cooper Wen out there. That was nice to see. They both had him corralled there. Obviously out through the guy, Hinton guy there. But definitely a deep drop back there. So I think we can, if we see more of those, it looks like they maybe want to air it out a little bit. Nice little arm there for that guy. But Mathias.
And Mathiasen, yeah, he's not looking too bad as a sophomore. These are they've I think both quarterbacks have done a decent job. It's just been hard for either offense to get much going. And now Costello will line up to punt after getting his first play under his belt. Takes the snap, gets the punt away. A high right-footed. This is a good punt. Wyatt Coons backs up on it. It goes out of bounds along the left sideline. And our referee will officially spot it out, I think, inside the 20. He walks it back to the 14. And so Gehlen will start 1st and 10 inside their own red zone at the 14-yard line.
Yeah, that was a really nice punt. Nice and high, and got it to the sideline, get away from Wyatt, which is probably something they've talked about. Not much going on offensively. Don't really want to get any momentum on special teams there, so probably not a bad decision to kick it away from Wyatt in that situation.
So Gehlen has a long field ahead of them. They'll have 1st and 10 from their own 14-yard line. The ball is on the right hash as the Jays break the huddle and try and get something going offensively. Carson Schecker to line up under center. He has 2 tight ends left, 2 receivers right, and Wyatt Coons is the back directly behind him in the single back formation. So Schecker trying to lead the Jay offense to something here. 1st and 10 from the 14. Takes the under center snap, hands it off tackle left side. Wyatt Coons turns the corner, left sideline 20, 25, and he is out of bounds across the 30. They'll spot him right at the 30-yard line. A great run for Wyatt Coons, 16 yards, more than enough for a Hy-Vee first down.
Yeah, I'd like to see that at first play there. Get a first down, get a little momentum, get out of your red zone. Now we're seeing more Schecker being under center. So a few bad snaps maybe in the shotgun earlier, so maybe Gehlen's going to go more to that under center conventional look and then look to just give it to Wyatt and see if he can't get outside, which I'd like to see that for sure.
And of course, the big thing that not many people would talk about is you do have a new center this year as well. That is honestly more than half the battle when it comes to the center quarterback exchange. 1st and 10 for the 29-yard line. Schecker under center, immediate drop back, rolling right, throws it up the right sideline into traffic, and the ball is batted down. Incomplete. Boy, that was a free one for Cale Siebenbergen. He was right in front of Drake Knipe, couldn't bring it in. Instead, it's an incompletion to make it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Gehlen got lucky there, that's for sure. Had good coverage, and Schecker didn't throw a bad ball, just kind of threw it into double coverage there. Wasn't really anyone open. Don't really like to see that, but obviously got a good bouncer off his hands, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a fortunate break there for the Jays.
Break.
So now 2nd and 10, lining up in a bigger package. 2 tight ends right, 2 receivers left from their own 29-yard line. Single back there is Coons. They're pitching it right. Coons trying to get off tackle around those tight ends, and he does get a nice gain in between the hashes. He's across the 35 and down at the 30, right at the 35. Pickup of 6 makes it 3rd and 4.
Daniel, that's a formation I kind of thought we'd see a little bit more of. Especially like you mentioned earlier with the new center quarterback there, kind of thought we might see a little bit more conventional I form, keep guys in tight, double tight end maybe, just to give them a little break early on, establish that run. Like to see that for sure.
Well, all things considered, the running game has been pretty solid for the Jays. Wyatt Coons, I have him down 9 carries for 54 yards so far, about 6 yards every time he touches the football. 3rd and 4 now from the 35. I formation once again. Schecker play action. Bootlegs right. Looks to throw upfield. He's got his target. Colton Wilson across the 45. He's tackled near midfield right at the 48-yard line. Picks up 13 in the play. That's good for a Gehlen first down.
Yeah, that was nice. They kind of ran levels there. Ran 2 guys underneath. And then had Sievers going deep that kind of stretched that corner and safety a little deep that freed up behind those linebackers. That was a nice little play there that Gehlen ran.
And, of course, Gehlen's first downs in this game are, of course, brought to you by Hy-Vee in Lamar's. It is 1st and 10 for Gehlen at their own 48-yard line. This is the kind of drive the Jays have been desperately looking for. 2 first downs, but they still have not gotten across midfield. They're looking to do that here pretty soon. Now Schecker goes back into the shotgun. 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Coons off his right hip. Shoulder high snap. He gives it, sweeps it around the left side. Coons has some room. He gets to midfield and stopped there. Good open field tackle. Cameron Robbins on the stop. 2-yard pickup to the 50. It's 2nd and 8.
Yeah, Robbins kind of came out of nowhere there. It looked like Wyatt kind of had a little gap there. Thought he was going to hit it. Here he came through and stopped for a gain of 2 there. That was a nice play by Robbins.
Huge play on the outside, especially getting around those 3 receivers out there. 2nd and 8 now, right at the 50-yard line, right in the middle of the field. 9:47 to go before halftime. It's 6-0. Hinton leads this non-district game in Battle of Class A and Class 1A. from the 50. Schecker in the gun. Motions a receiver. Knipe left to right. They're giving it to him. Jet sweep around the right side. He's got a lead block. Tries to get around one tackler, and he's stopped for a loss. They got him wrapped up at about the 49-yard line, back on Gehlen's side of the field. It'll be 3rd down and 9 after the loss.
Yeah, Hinton does a nice job crawling to the ball and gang tackling there. Once again, looked like he had a little bit of a seam there and just couldn't hit it. They go to the ball really well. They flow very well. Their backers do for sure.
Yeah, their discipline. That's a good defense that Hinton's been able to trot out year after year. And so now 3rd and 9 for Gehlen. This is about what Hinton ran into a couple of drives ago as well. 3rd down and long, right in the middle of the field. So certainly a situation where Gehlen might think about it if they have a good 3rd down game that doesn't get the first. From their own 49, Blackhawks show a blitz, high snap, Schecker can't field it, and now Wyatt Coons has to dive on the football, and he loses a lot of yards back to the 38, their own 38, a loss of 11, and now it'll be an obvious punting situation for Gehlen.
Man, hate to see that. That's definitely the drive killer for sure. Need to get that exchange under control there. Had 2 in a row that were good, and then went back to the one over his head. So that's unfortunate to see after had some good momentum there, getting a couple first downs, getting things going, getting across the 50. That's too bad there for the Jays.
So now 4th and 20. He'll be kicking with the line of scrimmage of the 38. Colton Wilson to boot it away. And he does get away a right-footed running end-over-end kick, again kicking into the wind. This is going to bounce at the 35. It rolls along the right hash, and the Jays down it at the Hinton 30. So not a bad punt, all things considered, going into that wind, about a 32-yard net. And Hinton will start with the ball at their own 30. Now it's been a little while since the Blackhawks have had the ball, and they will be aided by another water break. A hydration break with 7:58 to go in the first half. Hinton still leads this one 6-0. Stay tuned. We'll have more high school football coming up for you next on KLEM.
MRK Insurance knows that teamwork is dream work. At MRK Insurance, you get a great partner for all of your insurance needs. Visit them today on Central Avenue in Lamar's for a no-obligation quote for all of your insurance needs. That's MRK Insurance in Lamar's.
Connected Electric South is your electrical headquarters for residential, commercial, and agriculture. Call for a free quote today at 546-5062. Call Connected Electric South for all your electrical needs. 546-5062. Murphy, Collins, and McGill PLC in Lamar's supports our local student athletes, trusted for generations with reliable legal guidance. So when you are in need of legal services, consult with one of the attorneys at Murphy, Collins, and McGill PLC, located at 38 First Avenue Northwest, Lamar's, Iowa.
This is Jeremy Schindler, head coach for the Gehlen Catholic football team. You're listening to Jays Football on 1410 AM, 96.9 FM, KLEM.
And we're back to Hinton in the Held Recreation Complex alongside TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. It's great to be alongside you as you enjoy this contest, whether you're watching on the KLEM Radio YouTube channel or listening right here on KLEM Radio. So many great ways to enjoy this contest tonight. And it's been a good one. It's 6-0. Hinton has the lead with 7:58 to go in the first half. The Blackhawks have the ball following the punt. Gehlen had a bit of a drive going. They got from their own 14 to midfield before things stalled out pretty dramatically. 1st and 10 for the Blackhawks from their own 30-yard line. Duncan Mathias into the gun. He motions 2 tight ends left to right, and then the snap was let go. So that is a major procedure penalty. Blackhawks had to get all of those motion guys taken care of.
You love to see that if you're the Jays, right?
That's going to help the Jays big time.
This is a big defensive. Hopefully we can get a big defensive stop here and get the ball back and put some points on the board before half. That'd be really big, especially after that last drive where they had a little momentum. Might get some field position here. Be nice to get a big stop here. 3 and out would be really big.
Well, they're helped out already. It's 1st and 15 for Hinton. Ball's at their own 25-yard line. You have 2 receivers to the left, a receiver and tight end right. And now they motion a tight end left to right, and Anderson. Mathiasen drops back to pass out of the shotgun snap. Nowhere to go. Now he scrambles along the right seam. He goes to the 30, 35 to the 40. In the open field, he's tripped up for a first down to the 43-yard line. A pickup of 18, and Hinton moves the chains of the quarterback scramble.
Man, that coverage just got so deep. Guys stretched him deep. No one to throw it to, so he took off, and there was just no one in the middle of the field. That was a big run for him. That's too bad for the Jays there. But that's expected when, everyone's turning and running in coverage. That can happen sometimes.
And he really had not shown a whole lot of mobility the first quarter and a half to this point. So Gehlen probably was not even thinking of that as a possibility. Now they'll keep that in mind for the foreseeable future. 1st and 10 for the 42-yard line. Hinton still on their side of midfield. Will line up in the gun with Mathiasen. Tight end and receiver left, 2 receivers right. Takes a shoulder-high snap, play action to Robbins. Passes to the tight end, Anderson. It is a low ball. Anderson caught it, but he caught it right at the line of scrimmage. So no gain and nothing lost anyway. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, short little pass there and threw it kind of at his feet and had to dive and catch it. And that's a scenario where I don't know if it matters if he catches or not, I guess, other than maybe he gets a catch for it.
I was going to say, if he wants a catch, I think the only thing in the game that matters, does the clock keep running? And, well, with the catch, it does keep running, so it's 6:50 to go in the half. 6-0 Hinton.
Hinton probably likes to see that, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe they can milk this clock out before half is what they're thinking, possibly. So they probably like to see that clock running for sure.
Everybody's got timeouts to use, so we'll keep that in mind as this half comes to a close here in the next few minutes. 2nd and 10. Snap to Mathiasen. Fakes the give to Robbins. Looking to run up the middle. Drake Hodson grabs him, spins him to the turf at the 45. He's going to get a penalty for it. Yeah, he was a little too aggressive in bringing him to the ground. Turned and kind of threw him down. A tough penalty there against Drake Hodson. It's a 3-yard gain, but they're going to add more for unnecessary roughness, I would have to imagine.
Yeah, hate to see that penalty there. Had him wrapped up nicely, especially after you just said that Mathiasen, showed a nice run, and here they are again giving it to him. The Hinton coaching staff must have liked that run too, so they went back to it.
Yeah, and it looked good there for a while. Then Drake grabbed him and threw him to the ground. That is not a great penalty. Oh, and now he just got another penalty. Oh, that is not good. Drake, I think, maybe asking the official exactly what was going on, and he inevitably said something he shouldn't have. Someone's got to get up there and get Drake away from the referees at this point. And they're going to get him for unsportsmanlike conduct. That is not what the Jays need there. Again, Drake's still trying to plead his case. Easton Spangler trying to get him away from the referee.
I think the best scenario now is just to get Drake away from that's for sure. Yeah. Can't have him picking up another one here.
Yeah, that's 30 yards, and you can't just blame one player. That's not what we're trying to do, but that is a rough situation here for Gehlen. So the Blackhawks go from having 2nd and 7 at their own 45 to 1st and 10 at the Gehlen 25.
Yeah, that's big there, Daniel. That's too bad.
That's huge. So here we go. Hinton's got the football. Duncan Mathiasen in the gun. 2 receivers right, tight end and receiver left. And Robbins off the left hip of Mathiasen. He takes a letter-high snap. He throws along the left sideline, caught at the 20, and running over a defender, Max Costello. Tripped up at the 18-yard line. A gain of 7 to the tight end. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Gehlen needs to come up with a big stop here. See if maybe they can't hold him to a field goal attempt. Saw the last PAT went, so maybe we can get them to a field goal attempt here, and something similar could happen.
Yeah, Hinton historically has had some pretty good kicking the last few years, but Reese Stokes graduating, that has certainly changed the special team side of things. 5:50 to go in the first half. 6-0 Hinton. They are in the red zone for the first time tonight. And the Blackhawks will have 2nd down and 3 from the Gehlen 18-yard line. So here's Mathiasen lining up in the gun. 2 tight ends right, a receiver left, and he takes the snap, fakes the give, looks to throw right. The ball's batted away by Mason Small in the backfield. That is an incomplete pass. Mason got his big hands up there. He's 6'6", swats it away. It'll be 3rd and 3.
Yeah, he just ran in before that play there, Daniel. Him and Parker Cave switched there. That was a big play there. Obviously bringing in your big guys there on maybe a passing attempt there, 2nd and short. So that's a good play there by Mason, getting in the backfield, getting them hands up.
Really wanted to pick it off, I'm sure, but he'll take the deflection, and now it's 3rd and 3 after Hinton got 7 yards on 1st down. It's still in the red zone at the Gehlen 18. 2 receivers to the left, now 2 tight ends to the right of a pistol formation. Mathiasen with Robbins behind him. Motions his tight ends, 2 to the right, now 2 to the left. Mathiasen takes a belt high snap, pitches it left. Robbins running along that strong side, gets tackled near the line to gain. Oh, that spot is favorable to Gehlen. I think he's short at the 16.
Yeah, that was a nice play there by stuffing them blockers, keeping them short there. Yeah, it does look like they came up short. That was a big stop by Gehlen. Now they need to get a little penetration on this 4th down and see if they can't disrupt this 4th down attempt, because, obviously Hinton's going to go for it here, 4th and short inside the red zone.
Arguing's not going to do much about it, but I think Hinton might have a gripe to argue that Robbins probably did get that 1st down, but they can't do much about it. It's 4th and 1 for the Blackhawks at the Gehlen 16. Big play for Hinton, who leads it 6-0. Under center goes Mathiasen. He's got 3 backs in the backfield. Mathiasen motions a tight end and fullback right to left. He takes the snap, now getting a tush push up the middle. He stood up at the line to gain, falls forward across it, but there's a penalty flag thrown in this as well. If it's against Hinton, this will really impact their 4th down decision.
Looked like maybe an illegal motion there.
I believe, was everybody set after motioning? I think that might be the question here. And it is an illegal shift, illegal motion. That's a big penalty. And now it's 4th and 6.
He kind of came across and then didn't really get set because he was getting ready to push Mathiasen up the middle there. It looked like they're doing, like you said, a little tush push.
Yeah, they're taking a page out of the Eagles playbook. The Blackhawks, the Jays, we got the Eagles now. It is 4th and 6 here for Hinton. So that penalized them out of the red zone too. And potentially maybe out of Grayson Sitzman's field goal range. Not sure exactly because he hasn't kicked a whole lot of field goals at this point. So 4th and 6, that makes things a bit more challenging for the Blackhawks. Anderson at tight end right, 2 receivers right, 1 left. Now the play clock was down to 0, and Kadrian Harderson, the head coach of the Blackhawks, I think just got the timeout off in time. So Hinton has to burn a timeout, 4:21 to go in the half. They lead at 6-0, but they'll have 4th and 6 when we come back to Hinton here on KLEM.
Floyd Valley Healthcare wants you to play at the peak of your skills. Don't forget to stretch your muscles, hydrate, and schedule your wellness check to reach your full potential. Best of luck from Floyd Valley Healthcare of Lamar's. For all of your commercial or residential concrete or construction needs, JMax Construction is ready for you. At JMax Construction, you can be sure that your project will be handled with great customer service as well as the best of class construction and concrete work. Call JMax Construction and Concrete today at 540-0574.
Siouxland Glass is so glad you're supporting local athletes and listening to this great matchup. Siouxland Glass wants me to tell you that if you have a chip or crack in your windshield or need the whole thing replaced, you can call them at 540-9080. Siouxland Glass.
This is Drake Knipe, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
We welcome you back to the Held Sports Complex here in Hinton alongside TJ Britton. I'm Daniel Versteg. TJ Britton, a former Gehlen football player. We appreciate him joining us on our broadcast. It's 4th and 6 for Hinton. The Blackhawks had to use a timeout. Their play clock was not in favor of them. They were about to take a delay of game penalty, which on 4th and 6, after already taking an illegal motion penalty, would have hurt them even more. And so now the Blackhawks on the doorstep of the red zone need to get to the 15-yard line to convert this first. They were lined up in a bit of a passing formation prior to the timeout. We'll see what Coach Harderson and his coaching staff draws up here. 3 receivers right, tight end left with Mathiasen in the shotgun. Takes the snap, immediately rolls to the receivers along the right side. Looks to throw toward the end zone on the sideline. The penalty flag is thrown. There was contact in the end zone as the Jays were trying to cover Costello on an incomplete pass. And I think this is going to give the Blackhawks a first down.
Yeah, you hate to see that on a 4th and 6 there. They didn't really have anyone open. Maybe the penalty did cause that. It looked like maybe they just kind of ran into each other because it looked like Wyatt kind of threw his hands up there.
I thought I saw maybe a wraparound at the waist of Costello, but we're also far enough away from the play that my eyes could have deceived me. Now our officials are talking about it.
Was it catchable?
No, I'm not sure if that actually matters. Oh, they are going to wave off the penalty flag, though. Boy, that is a big call. Kadrian Harderson's going to have certainly something to say about it. That is a bit of a common misconception a little bit that the catchable, not catchable is actually not a provision in high school rules. So, but a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah.
That's the thing is it's worth noting. High school, college, NFL, all of that has very different rule sets that you might not know on a regular basis.
That would make sense with a 5-referee crew anyway. It'd be
Right.
tough to deem whether something's catchable or not.
And we don't have 100 slow-mo cameras around here.
I don't think so. I don't think that's in the budget yet.
Yeah, we'll see if we can scrounge up something together. Yeah, that would be something. But here we go. Galen's got the ball. They take advantage of that penalty being waved off. either a pass interference or a defensive hold. And now a whistle. Jeremy Schindler wants a timeout over on the Gehlen Catholic side. So with 4:15 to go in the half, 6-0 Hinton. A score 2 plays in, and we've had nothing since. We'll see if the Jays can change that out of this timeout. We're back with more high school football in a moment here on KLEM.
Score big with the Sitzman Real Estate Team. Hometown realtors Shane, Peggy, Lance, and Patty are cheering the Lamar's Bulldogs and Gehlen Jays on to a victory. Buying or selling, call the Sitzman Real Estate Team today at 546-7881.
Make sure your life runs smoothly with an upgraded internet package from Premier Communications, connecting you with the internet speed and television access package that best fits your wants and needs. Premier Communications is happy to support our area coaches, athletes, and the parents who support them. Have a great season.
Klein Insulation wants to provide you with a complete insulation system for your attic, crawl space, and foundation walls. Call Kyle today with Klein Insulation at 540-5691. That's 540-5691.
This is Carson Schecker, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
We welcome you back to Hinton alongside TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. And here we are with 4:15 to go in the half. Out of the Gehlen timeout, they're first of the half, so each side now with 2. The Blackhawks still lead this game 6-0 on the American Bank scoreboard, and the Jays have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 21. I formation under center. Schecker takes a snap, fakes a give to the fullback, sweeps it left for Coons. That play is busted in the backfield. A loss of 5 to the 16. Max Costello on a big stop for a loss. It'll be 2nd and 15.
That's too bad. Gehlen pulled a guy from the right side there coming around the left end and kind of slipped in behind him before they could get any blockers out there in front. That's a big play on 1st down for Hinton.
Yeah, huge loss of yards. And so now it's 2nd and 15 for Gehlen. They are now spotted inside their own red zone as the Jays are trying to make something happen offensively and break this 0 they've got on the scoreboard. 2 receivers either side. Schecker in the gun gets a good snap this time. Pass right side, caught by Drake Knipe. Outside the right numbers, 15, and he is able to get some positive yards to the 19. And it'll be a 3-yard pickup for Knipe to make it 3rd and 12.
It's good that he stayed in bounds there. You know, I think Gehlen probably just trying to get through this half, get into the locker room, make a few adjustments here. You know, want to keep the ball out of Hinton's hands with 3 minutes left in the game here. Don't want to give them an opportunity potentially on their own side of the 50 here.
And of course, a perfect situation. You'd score here, and then you get the ball back to start the second half if you're Gehlen. Go for 2 for 1, but at worst case, if you don't score, you'll get the ball back to start the second half.
Right.
Here's 3rd and 12 from the 19. Schecker play action, passes right seam, caught by Knipe across the 30. He's tackled across the 1st down marker at the 33-yard line, 14 yards. That's good for a Gehlen Catholic 1st down.
Yeah, Carson's got a nice little arm back there. Slings the ball pretty well. When he gets a little time and has a snap on point there, he's pretty effective. Throws a nice little ball over the middle there.
1st downs for Gehlen Catholic in this game are brought to you by Hy-Vee in Lamar's. And the clock runs with 2:45 to go before halftime. 1st and 10 for the Jays of their own 33. Schecker lines up under center, single back of the backfield with 2 receivers on either side. Ball's on the right hash. Schecker gives to Coons up the middle, across the 35-40. He's got another 1st down across the 45 to the 46. 13 yards, moves the chains for a Hy-Vee 1st down.
Yeah, that's a nice run by Wyatt. A big hole there up the middle. Venegas and Cave had a nice hole there with Mason on that left side. It's good to see Wyatt get going again, get some big runs. Need that with only 2 minutes left. Need to get some big chunks here.
Yeah, Gehlen still has 2 timeouts left, so they have a little bit more at their disposal. 2:15 to go in the half. 6-0 Blackhawks. Here's Schecker in the gun. Again, 2 receivers either side. Schecker, helmet high snap, quick pass left, caught by Mayrose outside the left numbers. He's across midfield, near the 45. He is out of bounds before the 45 at the Hinton 47. That's a gain of 7. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Looked like he picked up a big block out there by Van Voorst, kind of got the edge for Tarek there. That was a nice catch and run there for Tarek.
And he gets out of bounds with that, too. Stops the clock with 2:04 left in the half.
Hinton coaches don't like to see that, that's for sure. I'd rather have him be tackled in bounds.
Yeah, of course, the Blackhawks are trying to guard field position, but they're also trying to guard the sideline a bit. They don't want Gehlen to be able to totally use all of this clock, if you will.
These quick passes have been pretty effective here on this drive for Gehlen.
2nd down and 3 for the Hinton 47. Schecker, helmet high snap, pump fake, short, airs it out deep toward the left sideline looking for Van Voorst, and he underthrew him with a penalty flag downfield.
Looked like he grabbed his shoulder there. Van Voorst got his shoulder grabbed, kind of turned around a little bit maybe.
That might have brought Van Voorst to the ground. The penalty flag thrown downfield at the 20. Kadrian Harderson, Hinton head coach, looking at the referees with a sideways look. That is a pass interference against Hinton. And a big penalty will give Gehlen a great spot. They'll have 1st and 10 at the Hinton 32.
Probably hurts a little bit more after the one just got wiped off on the previous 4th down for them, and then we pick up that one. That's probably not what he likes to see.
That's an excellent point. Yeah, the Blackhawks had 4th and 6, and then a penalty in the end zone on a very similar kind of looking play. And it went Gehlen's way. They waved the penalty off. 1st and 10 of the Hinton 32. Handoff up the middle. Wyatt Coons up the left seam 25. Drags a defender across the line to gain. He's down at the 21. Gain of 11 for Coons. It's another 1st down.
That's kind of what I expected to see there. Them guys up front moving some guys. Gehlen's got a big offensive line, hitting some big guys too, but that was nice to see Wyatt get that little seam, kind of keep running. As I noted earlier, definitely finishes runs always falling forward. That's good to see out of Wyatt for sure.
That is another high V 1st down for Gehlen. 1st and 10 now for the Blackhawks at the 21-yard line. Under center, Schecker with a single back there. 2 receivers either side. Blitz. They pitch it left. That's Coons up the left. Numbers across the 15. He's tackled down inside the 15. Now still fighting at the 13-yard line. That's a pickup of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2. And for the first time tonight, Gehlen Catholic enters the top-notch automotive red zone.
That was a big play there. Like you mentioned, Hinton was bringing some pressure up the middle, and Gehlen actually went outside, had a play called against it. So that was nice to see him go away from that blitz and get around it for sure.
A minute to go in the half. Still 2 timeouts for the Jays, down 6-0. Schecker hands it off. Coons up the middle. He's got a 1st down. Deeper into the red zone across the 10. He's at the 5. Picks up 8. It's another high V 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal.
I think Schindler found something he likes there up the middle there. I think that's about the 4th one we've seen, and they've all gone for 8 to 13 yards or whatever at this point. So it's nice to see that. Looks like he's found some success in those guys in the middle there.
Well, and remember how this drive started. A Wyatt Coons loss of 5 yards. Now he has been churning upfield. 1st and goal from the 5. Schecker under center. Turns and gives to Coons. Bounces off tackle left side. Foot race to the pylon. Dives head first in for a Gehlen touchdown. Wyatt Coons scored 10 times last year. He scores for the first time this year. And Gehlen Catholic ties it up at 6 on the American Bank scoreboard.
Hey, that was a really nice run by Wyatt. Love to see that out of the Jays there. That's a good drive all around. Wide receivers did their job. Schecker had a nice pass to him. Offensive line, Wyatt, everyone contributed on that drive. That was great to see.
And touchdowns in today's game brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Michael Crank. A great drive for Gehlen Catholic as they find themselves in the end zone. 9 plays, 79 yards, nearly a 4-minute drive. And now Gehlen is going to line up for the point after kick. Kyler Van Voorst will try and bang it through. This will be a big kick to try and give the Jays the lead. Wyatt Coons is actually, I think
he's hunched over there.
And he's coming off the field. Coons, I believe.
He had his helmet off, so I think the referee was going to make him come off anyway. But I think maybe got the wind knocked out of him. It looked like maybe he fell on the ball when he went in the end zone there, and he was kind of bending over, kind of grabbing his gut a little bit, it looked like.
And I believe, is Wyatt the holder too? He might be. So that's, I think, why Coach Schindler is content to burn a timeout here so that he can get Wyatt back on the field for this exchange.
Yeah, it looked like there's a little discussion on who they were going to go to after Wyatt. At a small school like Gehlen, some of them positions like that, placeholder, maybe it's a forgotten backup position. I doubt it on the staff, but it's funny to see. You probably don't have 10 guys pounding on the door to be that guy.
Well, and the average football fan would say, well, you're just holding the football for him. It's a big job.
It is.
I've heard stories of kickers at the highest level in the NFL. They send their holders to a camp to hold.
Never heard of that, but it definitely makes sense.
It's crazy.
So, their job's on the line too.
Right.
So there's a lot that goes into it.
So it'll actually be Drake Knipe to hold. It might have been Wyatt might be the long snapper too. Either way, they wanted Wyatt back out there, and now Kyler Van Voorst will line up for the PAT to give the Jays the lead. Here's the snap. Spot is down. The kick, line drive boot. Looks good. It is good. And Gehlen has their first lead of the night here in Hinton. 38 seconds to go in the half. 7-6. Gehlen on top on the American Bank scoreboard. We'll take a short break. Hinton's going to get the ball with 2 timeouts when we come back on KLEM.
Gehlen Catholic School, excellence in education, leadership through Christ. For information, check their website at GehlenCatholic.org.
Willow Lodge Pet Resort wants to wish all of our area athletes best of luck in tonight's game. Whether leaving town for vacation or just need a place for your pet during the workday, see Willow Lodge Pet Resort today on Prospect Street in Lamars.
Supporting our students in their endeavors at school is important to Prime Bank. Making sure that our students have the best chance for success is why we work hard to provide our backing. Prime Bank wishes all of our teams and groups good luck.
This is Wyatt Kuntz, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
We welcome you back to Hinton and the Held Sports Complex alongside TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. 38 seconds to go in the half. Game has changed pretty impactfully with a Gehlen Catholic touchdown. It was a 9-play, 79-yard drive, a 5-yard touchdown run from Wyatt Kuntz with a crucial point-after kick from Kyler Van Voorst. The Jays lead at 7-6. And we were talking as that drive started, the ideal outcome was score because the Jays are going to get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, I kind of commented that maybe they just want to salt it away and kind of make adjustments at halftime. Maybe Schindler's tuning in and said, not so fast, TJ.
Not quite.
We're going to score here before half and make some adjustments, come out and score in the second half too, maybe.
Well, of course, Hinton's got 2 timeouts, so we'll see how they use those. Van Voorst sends this toward the far side. This is fielded at the 7-yard line and run out by Hinton along the right numbers to the 20, 25 to the 30, around the right sideline 35, and that's Cale Zievenbergen, I believe, who goes out of bounds at about the 37-yard line. So Hinton will have the ball. They have 63 yards to go and 30 seconds to do so to get in the end zone.
Yeah, nice kicks there out of Van Voorst. Once again, we talked earlier, maybe out-kicking the coverage a little bit, just not getting down there fast enough. But still, 37-yard line, high school football, that doesn't, not that big a deal right now. So especially when we've seen a pretty much run-heavy team. Obviously, Hinton's going to try to stretch it here a little bit, but, I think we can deal with the 37-yard line, that's for sure.
The big question will be, how does Hinton attack this? Duncan Mathiasen has shown the ability to air it out a little bit, but we'll see how they plan to attack this one. Will they just take it into the half or not? With 2 timeouts, I'd be surprised if that was the case. Mathiasen in the pistol, 2 receivers, tight end left, 1 receiver right. As Mathiasen, a shoulder-high snap, play action, bootlegs left. He's being run up the sideline by Small. He throws along the left sideline. Max Costello, the catch, stays in bounds across midfield. Coughed up the ball, but he was down by contact. That's a gain of 14 for a Blackhawk first down.
Yeah, Spieth just kind of went out there about 7 yards out and sat down and waited for the ball. And then Gehlen really didn't have anyone in the area, but they did corral him. It was all right, keep him in bounds. That was a big play there.
19 seconds left. The clock is moving. 1st and 10 of the 48. Mathiasen drops back. Now he's got to run. He is sacked for a loss with a penalty flag. Drake Hodgson brings him down behind midfield of the 49. 12 seconds left in the half. It's a loss of 3 pending the penalty.
Looks like it was a hold there on the right side.
So Gehlen might just take the yardage here. They might negate Drake's sack in that regard because the yardage more important here. That is a hold on the offense. So it is a 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage.
Drake probably doesn't love to see that. What do you have, 10 sacks last year?
Yeah.
10 tackles for a loss, whatever it was. And he probably doesn't love to see that taken away, but he definitely understands. He's a team guy, so he'd probably deal with it. But
he does. Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, in a normal situation, you probably take the sack, and now Hinton's going to call a timeout as the clock was about to start winding again following the penalty. So a timeout here for Hinton as they trail this one 7-6. 11.5 seconds to go in the half. We're going to keep it here. Again, thanks to all of our sponsors for bringing you this one, including our video stream sponsors. Want to highlight those. Julie Hurt with Century 21 ProLink, Shrunk Roofing, along with Northwest Bank and the Campbell's Group. Some great sponsors bringing you our video stream coverage, which you can find right now on the KLEM Radio YouTube channel as Hinton, again, trails Gehlen Catholic 7-6 with 11.5 seconds to go before half. Again, coming up at the half, we're going to try and get you caught up on all of the high school football games happening in the listening area. A couple of 8-man games involving some very good teams. Kingsley Pearson is playing the defending champion Bishop Garrigan tonight, and Remsen St. Mary's is playing the #1 team in the state tonight in Audubon. Then MMCRU playing at Akron Westfield. That's a good local matchup. And, of course, Lamar's Community starting their season at home tonight against Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln. We'll try and get you an update on all of those games if we can during our halftime coverage here this evening, along with a bit of a recap of the first half as well. That's all coming up in just a few minutes whenever this first half decides to conclude. So Hinton has 1 timeout remaining, and in an ideal situation, they would use this in a spot where they can either A, take a shot at a field goal, or B, set up a long play to try and get toward the end zone. They're not in any of those positions right now. Lining up in a pretty obvious Hail Mary situation. 2 receivers either side. Mathiasen, 5-step drop out of the shotgun. Has time. Deep shot. Left sideline. Single coverage. Jumping up for the ball. Could not bring it in. The target, Noah Worth, tried to reach over Cooper Wendt. The ball was batted away. It'll be second down and 20 with 4 seconds left in the half.
That was a heck of a play by Cooper. He was in the right spot there. Probably 5'3" versus 6'3", probably about a foot difference there. And Coop just kind of sat under them arms, and the ball came down, just knocked it out. That was great coverage by Cooper.
Yeah, Noah Worth, he is 6'3". Was Cooper Wendt even 5'6" when he's got heels on?
Maybe when cleats on.
Maybe. So Hinton, after that result's just going to take a knee down, and they're going to take this one into the locker room. So we are through 24 minutes of a very exciting football game. Gehlen Catholic leads Hinton 7-6. Gehlen scored late in the first half, and certainly helped as they're going to get the ball to start the second half as well. But we got to talk about it. We got to get you some scores around the area, so we'll do that here in the next few minutes. Stay tuned. More high school football coverage is coming up in a moment here on KLEM Lamar's.
Touchdown for great times at the Lamar's Eagles Club. Join us Tuesday nights for bingo, and don't miss our delicious Wednesday night burger night. Proud sponsors of local athletics, where the fun never stops. Visit the Eagles Club this week.
When it comes to service, your Lamar's Hy-Vee is #1 for shopping both in-store and online. Save with the Fuel Saver Plus Perks Rewards program at Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle.
Season after season, our community comes together to support our students and the activities they love. At Northwest Bank, we celebrate that commitment, showing up, giving your best, and supporting one another every step of the way. Whether you're chasing financial goals or cheering from the stands, we're here to help you with flexible accounts, personalized service, and a team dedicated to your success. Here's to our student athletes, playing strong and representing our hometown with heart. Northwest Bank, member FDIC.
Commitment you can bank on.
Quality Lube of Lamar's is proud of all our Plymouth County athletes. At Quality Lube, they focus on you, the customer, to ensure that they can keep you on the road when you need to be. From diagnostic repair to routine oil changes, Quality Lube can do it all.
Bob's Bike Shop, your power sports headquarters. Yamaha, Can-Am, and Club Cars, they've got the ride that fits your wild side. Visit them today on Highway 75 North in Lamar's, proud sponsor of your local sports action. At Roosters Harley-Davidson in Sioux City, you can find your perfect ride with bikes, gear, and service you can trust. Find them online at roostersh-d.com or stop by Roosters Harley-Davidson today, where your next ride is waiting.
Colbeck Incorporated is proud to support local high school athletics. They encourage you to play hard and play smart and always show good sportsmanship. Best of luck from your friends, Brian, Kevin, and Wayne Colbeck.
When it comes to keeping your lawn looking great and having the right equipment to get the job done, think the Campbell's Group. Campbell's Lawn and Landscaping has you covered with professional lawn care and landscaping services. And when you need equipment, repairs, or rentals, turn to Campbell's Rental and Repair, featuring quality Toro products and more. One group, 2 great ways to get the job done right. Campbell's Group, quality service and quality equipment.
Hummer's Lawn Care Service will provide you with the services needed for the best-looking lawn in your neighborhood. Is it thatching, fertilizer, or simple maintaining of your freshly cut grass? Call Hummer's Lawn Care at 546-4087.
The Lamar's Knights of Columbus Council 1466 would like to wish our teams the best of luck in the game. The Knights of Columbus is proud to support our schools and many charities throughout the year with our pork chop dinners and fish fries. Check out upcoming events by visiting their Facebook page at Lamar's KFC.
This is Easton Spangler, and you're listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
Well, we welcome you back to Hinton and the Held Sports Complex in Hinton and to our halftime coverage tonight. We've got a good Week 1 competitive matchup for you as Gehlen Catholic leads Hinton by a score of 7-6, 1 half into this one. Alongside TJ Britton, I'm Daniel Versteg. Very competitive first half, certainly not the cleanest by any means, but something that these two guys, these two teams will certainly be looking to improve upon. as the night goes along. We'll be recapping the first half of competition for you here in just a moment, taking a look at some scores around the area at halftime of their matchups as well. And boy, quite an outcome so far through one half in Akron tonight. We're going to pass along that score for you here in just a few minutes. But first, talking about the first half of play, boy, I think the key word I've been thinking all first half is sloppy. It's not been a good first half, but both these teams have kind of weathered the storm, and now it'll be interesting to see what adjustments are made.
Yeah, Gehlen took that big blow right away, and then kind of both teams, like you said, sloppy, self-inflicted wounds, undisciplined, however we want to say it. Couldn't get much going then on offense, and then, right there before the second half, like we said, Gehlen finally tuned it up. But you'd mentioned, Gehlen had run the ball okay. It just came down to the sloppy play, and so if we clean that up, I think we'll be okay. I'm sure Hinton coaching staff saying the same thing, turnovers, penalties. They're probably saying the same thing. Hey, guys, we're right there, just self-inflicted wounds. We need to cut that out.
Yeah, and that's the big thing is, right now, both these teams are very even. Obviously, the scoreboard shows that. Some of the numbers show that. And right now, at this point, a blocked PAT is the only thing that's separating these two to this point. So a very competitive matchup. If we take a look at some of the offensive numbers that we were able to scratch out for you, the Blackhawks ran the ball a total of 6 times as a team, tallying 74 yards. 41 of those came on the touchdown run by Cameron Robbins. That came 2 plays into the game. And then Hinton threw the ball for 47 yards as Duncan Mathiasen ended up completing 7 of his 12 pass attempts. He was able to, or 8 of his 13 pass attempts, I should say, he was able to connect with Max Costello twice for a total of 21 yards. Meanwhile, Gehlen Catholic getting 78 yards rushing as a team, 85 from Wyatt Coons. They've had a couple of others that have lost some yards. Wyatt Coons has carried the ball 17 times for 85 yards and a touchdown. And then Carson Schecker throwing the ball. He's been effective. He's 5 of 6 for 44 yards. He's hit Drake Knipe 3 times for 24 yards. And I would have to imagine, TJ, the spark for Gehlen there late in the second quarter was getting that stop in the red zone on 4th down. I know it was not maybe the conventional way with a penalty flag being waved off, but they needed something, and boy, that lit a fire in them.
Yeah, especially after that penalty got wiped off, kind of your wind goes out of your sails, then they take the penalty away, kind of get a little momentum there. Went backwards on the first play of the drive there, but then rebounded really nice and established some run game up front. Then went back to the pass a few times. Schindler did a nice job mixing it up, keeping the Hinton defensive coaching staff on their toes there. So I'd like to see a little bit more of that here in the second half going forward.
Yeah, that drive, that was a 9-play, 79-yard drive. The first play for Gehlen lost 5 yards. The next play gained 3. Then they proceeded to pick up 14, 13, 7, 15 on a penalty, 11, 8, 8, and 5. I mean, they were just cruising in that drive.
Yeah, I'm sure Schindler would love to see that every drive. Made it look easy, right?
Yeah.
just taking big chunks going down the field. He'd love to see that going forward. Obviously, it's usually not that easy. And the previous 4 drives, or whatever Gehlen had 3 drives, right. Not much going. No. So it was good to see that they had mixed it up. Like you said, it went 7 and 13. It's nice to see some big chunks, big plays. It's nice to be putting those 2nd and 3rd and shorts too. Kind of opens your playbook a little bit more, which allows you to throw the ball maybe on that 2nd and 4 instead of 2nd and 8.
Right.
Gives you a little bit more opportunity. Maybe waste a play or try something different, because with the way Wyatt's running, definitely you can get 4 yards almost every crack the way it's going so far.
Well, very entertaining ball game again through one half. It's 7-6. Gehlen Catholic has the early advantage, and the Jays are going to get the football to start the second half of this one, so that is going to be critical. Gehlen will have a chance to somewhat go 2 for 1 in a way, and that's a big thing if you can make it work, because that, again, as we've already seen, really shifts the momentum of a game.
Right. I'm sure they're feeling real confident going into half after scoring that big play there right before half. Like you said, it wasn't really 2 for 2 because they got 3. They had hit and ran 3 plays, but same thing basically. So Gehlen loves to see that. They're probably talking about that drive right now and how they can build on that. What was successful on that drive? What wasn't successful earlier? And let's just build on that success. Like we just showed though, once they got disciplined and didn't have the self-inflicted wounds, how they can establish that run. I think earlier you mentioned wide run for about 6 yards a carry.
Yep.
So get him going for that. It's in high school football, that's tough to stop, because a lot of times go for it on fourth down. It's a 4-play drive pretty much all the time, especially once you're past the 50.
Yeah, and Wyatt's right about his average from last year. He averaged nearly 6 yards a carry last year, and he's right around that mark here overall at this point. At one point he was for sure 6 yards a pop, so it's been a really strong offensive showing, at least in the second quarter for Gehlen. And Hinton, you gotta kind of wonder what happened. I mean, they've been able to move the ball somewhat effectively since their scoring drive, but gosh, the last 35, 40 yards to try and get to the end zone have been really, really tough for them.
Yeah, that's too bad for them, I guess, but that's the way it goes sometimes in football, right? They established that run right away, had some big plays. I think Gehlen just maybe wasn't in the game yet right away, just kind of got taken off guard, taken aback a little bit. So it's nice to see Gehlen establish the defense a little bit. Early on, we talked about them missing so many tackles, that led to those big plays for Hinton, on the kickoff, and then their big run. The guy broke about 2 tackles there. Right. So once Gehlen started gang tackling, corralling the runner, things started to look up for him. So we need to see more of that in the second half. I assume Hinton's going to try to get their big guys out in space like they did early on, which, one-on-one, they're going to be tough to take down out there in space. That's for sure. That Robbins is tough. Costello's tough. Anderson's tough. They have a lot of big guys out there.
Yeah, there's certainly some weapons, and they'll look to use them a little bit more effectively as the game goes along. Again, your halftime score on the American Bank scoreboard, it is Gehlen 7, Hinton 6. We're going to take a quick break on our halftime coverage this evening, and when we come back, we're going to try and get you some scores from around Plymouth County, maybe around some of these 2 districts and things like that, just to keep you up to date on the high school football happenings around the listening area. Stay tuned. We have more high school football coverage for you in a moment right here on KLEM.
State Farm agent Michael Crank is a proud supporter of local athletics. Whether you are looking for auto, home, or health insurance, choose the agent that will be on your side. State Farm agent Michael Crank.
Smithco Manufacturing in Lamars would like to wish our area athletes a safe, successful fall season. For 30 years, Smithco has used great teamwork to produce the #1 selling side dump trailers in the country. To learn how you can join our winning team, go online at sidedump.com.
Your home deserves a roof you can count on and siding that looks great for years to come. From a brand new roof to quality siding, Shrunk Roofing has the experience and craftsmanship to protect your home and give it a fresh, finished look. Whether you're building, remodeling, or replacing an aging roof or siding, trust the local team that knows what it takes to get the job done right. Shrunk Roofing, quality roofing and siding built to protect what matters most.
Top-notch automotive owners Jerry and Jason Mura can help with all your auto repair needs, from AC repair to transmission rebuilds, engine replacement, steering, suspension diagnostics, and more. Call 712-546-7430 or stop by Top-Notch Automotive, 1600 18th Street Southwest, Lamars.
Need a new roof? Trust J&M Roofing for quality roofing and dependable service. From repairs to complete roofing projects, J&M Roofing has you covered. J&M Roofing, protecting your home from the top down.
Hey sports fans, this is Perry from the Ace Hardware downtown Lamars. Maintain your home and yard with advice and products from Ace. We'll help you get it done more efficiently so you have time to go to the next game. Ace Hardware, Lamars.
Game on, Lamars. Looking for a winning team for your finances? Join Cent Credit Union. As a member-owned cooperative, Cent is all about you, your goals, your community. Let's score big together. Visit centcu.org today, where your success is our play.
A home is a safe place to be, a roof over your head, and 4 walls to keep out the heat and cold. It's a child's laughter, a mother's song, and a father's strength. It's where we go for comfort and to share joy. It's your first school and your first church. It's where memories are shared. Hi, this is Julie Hurt, your Century 21 ProLink real estate agent. Whatever a home means to you, I am here to help you find the home you are looking for. Call 540-7757 and let me, Julie Hurt, help you make a house your new home.
Midwest Construction Rentals of Sioux City and Norfolk is proud to support local athletes. For all your construction rental needs, stop by Midwest Construction Rentals in Sioux City or Norfolk, helping our community and keeping your projects moving.
Lamar's Community Athletic Boosters are proud supporters of this broadcast. Hard work and determination are vital to the success of our area athletics. The Lamar's Community Athletic Boosters are proud to stand behind our athletes and coaches as they work toward success on the field and in the classroom.
This is Eddie Venegas, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
We welcome you back to Hinton in the Held Sports Complex in Hinton alongside TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. It's halftime here in Hinton, and the score, it is Gehlen Catholic 7 and Hinton 6. Good battle, and once again, the Jays will be getting the football to start the second half of play, which will be coming up in just a couple of minutes. Let's take some time now to get you some scores around the listening area around Plymouth County. We'll first go back to Jim Lorenzen Field in Lamar's, where the Bulldogs led Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln 14-0 at the half. Unfortunately, not many good updates since. The Lynx have already scored a touchdown, and they just got the ball back in the red zone on a fumble, so the Lynx potentially a chance to tie it up right away early in the second half of play. How about this halftime score right now? In Akron tonight, Akron Westfield leads the defending champion MMCRU Royals 12-0 at the half. Boy, we wondered if that senior class from MMCRU, if that would really impact them. Weren't quite sure how much it would impact them, but certainly it is here in week one. Again, the Westerners lead the Royals 12-0 at the half. A very intriguing result there. We're going to keep you up to date on that game as much as we can. 8-player matchups. Third-ranked Bishop Garrigan, they lead Kingsley Pearson 28-6. And it's a bit of a shootout right now in Remsen as top-ranked Audubon leads Remsen St. Mary's 49-24. That game's still not quite at halftime. The Wheelers threatening to score again. Just got an update from Lamar's Community Stadium. The Lynx have tied it up at 14 with the Bulldogs, so bad news there for Lamar's. Other scores that might be of note around the area tonight. Westwood is beating up on Alta Aurelia 39-0 at the half. There's a good battle right now in Sioux County as Sioux Center, third ranked in Class 3A, is tied with Unity Christian 7-7 at the half. Top-ranked team in 1A, West Lyon, the two-time defending champs, winners of 26 in a row. They're tied with Western Christian at the half, 14 apiece. The top-ranked team in Class A, West Sioux, they're demolishing Sheldon 34-0. Bit of a bigger class here. Sergeant Bluff Luton leads Bishop Heelan 7-0 first quarter. Boyd and Hull Rock Valley up in the third against Sibley Ocheyedan 14-0. Woodbury Central looks to be a juggernaut again. They lead Lawton Bronson 25-0. Central Lyon George Little Rock leads MOC Floyd Valley 13-0. And boy, right now at Elwood Olson Stadium, Sioux City East crushing Sioux City North. It's 40-0. Not even quite at the half yet of that game. And Kemper Catholic is beating Cherokee tonight 21-0. Those are some scores we can pass along to you around the listening area. There are some very entertaining games. Of course, we are going to have all of those scores for you at KLEM1410.com tonight. And I think we are going to plan, as part of our coaches show tomorrow, we're going to chat with Ken Vigdahl, head coach of the Bulldogs, Jeremy Schindler, head coach of the Jays. And I think we are going to get the victorious coach out of that Akron-Westfield MMCRU matchup, whether it is Akron-Westfield head coach John Sievert or first-year head coach Colin Yude. We are going to try to get one of those two gentlemen to talk with us on the Coach's Corner tomorrow morning. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Of course, that starts at 8:05 each and every Saturday morning right here on KLEM throughout the high school football season. And again, your halftime score here in Hinton, it's Gehlen Catholic 7 and Hinton 6. We are going to take a break once again. We'll come back and start the second half. We'll hope you join us. More high school football is coming up next on KLEM.
For all your construction needs, trust the Wilchin Brothers. They're a Better Business Bureau accredited business and will be there every step of the way to get your project done right. Call 546-4135 for Wilchin Brothers Incorporated.
Williams & Company, certified public accountants, congratulates all area athletes in support of excellence, good sportsmanship, and the spirit of teamwork. A proud sports sponsor, Williams & Company, CPAs, your full-service business advisor with a local office in Lamar's.
Season after season, our community comes together to support our students and the activities they love. At Northwest Bank, we celebrate that commitment, showing up, giving your best, and supporting one another every step of the way. Whether you're chasing financial goals or cheering from the stands, we're here to help you with flexible accounts, personalized service, and a team dedicated to your success. Here's to our student athletes, playing strong and representing our hometown with heart. Northwest Bank, member FDIC.
Commitment you can bank on.
Lamar's Agri-Center, your local source for top-performing Kent feed products, bulk grass seed, bulk bird seed, lawn care essentials, dust control solutions, and much more, all accompanied with exceptional service. The Lamar's Agri-Center, your source for everything that grows.
At American Bank, community is at our core, and that starts with our schools. From classrooms to athletic fields, we're proud to support the students, teachers, and families who shape our communities. Because when schools succeed, communities thrive. At American Bank, we're committed to strengthening our communities, investing in education today to build a stronger tomorrow. American Bank, Lamar's and Remsen, achieving success together. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Drake Hodson, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
Well, we welcome you back to Hinton. Start of the second half as the Gehlen Catholic Jays lead the Hinton Blackhawks 7-6 alongside TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. We thank you for keeping it tuned for our halftime coverage. A little recap of the first half, quick score update around the listening area. There's some great games happening right now in the listening area, and we are ready to go with the second half of play here tonight in Hinton. We are hoping to have a very competitive second half as we did in the first half, even if the game from a maybe X's and O's and fundamental standpoint was not the best. It was still a very competitive first half of play. We'll see if some of those kinks have been worked out as we get ready to go with the next 24 minutes of regulation. Max Costello will be kicking off for the Blackhawks, and it will be Wyatt Kuntz along with Drake Knight back to return for Gehlen. So here we go. See if the Jays can go 2 for 1, and they'll get the football here shortly. A line drive, end-over-end kick, bounces inside the 20, dies at the 14. Drake Knight runs up, picks it up. He's going to try and reverse toward the right side, and he goes east-west into a number of Blackhawks. He is stopped at his own 13-yard line. Nothing doing for Drake Knight. And the Jays will start in their own red zone. Before they do, Hinton has a player down with an injury.
Yeah, Gehlen trying to get off that right-hand side there again, and Costello did a nice job kicking it to the left side there for Gehlen, so he had to go around the edge, and then Drake realized he probably wasn't going to get there, so just kind of cut it back up and got what he could.
Yeah, not much he could do, unfortunately. No return, really. He basically didn't gain, didn't lose anything. The Blackhawks have a player down on that special teams kick.
Hate to see that.
Yeah, you don't want to see that right now. Greg Connery, assistant coaches over there. Kadrian Harderson, the head coach of the Blackhawks, and a member of the Blackhawk training staff, leaned over him. Not sure exactly who it is. If we get a chance to pass that information along to you, we will do so. But not a great way to start the second half by any means, with a player down for Hinton. And the Blackhawks will give him some time. We will give him some time as well. And we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this injury here in just a moment on KLEM.
Hi, this is Julie Hurt with Century 21 ProLink in Lamar's, your local real estate expert dedicated to results. Whether buying or selling a home, call me, Julie Hurt, with Century 21 ProLink in Lamar's at 540-7757. That's 540-7757.
Advanced Eye Healthcare, Dr. Becky DeRuyter knows all of our student athletes need to keep their eye on the ball. Make sure with an eye exam at Advanced Eye Healthcare at Walmart Vision Center in Lamar's. Dr. Becky DeRuyter.
This is Chase Christoffel, and you're listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
And we welcome you back to the Held Recreation Complex in Hinton. Daniel Versteg, TJ Britton with you. Glad to be joining you. Unfortunately, not great news. Grayson Holtgrew, the player down for Hinton, he is being helped off of the field and not able to put any weight on that left leg. And now the pain might be too much. They've even stopped carrying him for just a moment to try and let him get a breather. So certainly not the way you wanted to start the second half. Grayson Holtgrew, he is a junior for this Blackhawk team, and he is being helped off of the field right now by Kadrian Harderson, Hinton head coach, and assistant coach Greg Connery, as they try and get Holtgrew toward the sideline. And boy, he is not in a good spot right now.
He's in a lot of pain there.
A lot of pain. That is not good to see.
He can't put any weight, looks like, on that left leg there.
Yeah, zero at this point. So they are carrying him in a seated position over to the sideline. They have finally got him off the field. And, yeah, so the training staff is going to use this time to take a look at him now. Not a good situation, but they have gotten him off the field, so we will continue playing here. 1st and 10 for Gehlen at their own 13-yard line. And the Blackhawk defense will now have to get regrouped after seeing one of their players go down. Under center, Schecker in the single back. He drops back to throw, airs it out up the left seam. That ball is deflected away and incomplete. On the coverage was Colin Dunkel, denying Drake Knight the ball. Incomplete pass across the 40 makes it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, Drake had some space there, maybe a little underthrown. Could have got a little more air under it. I think Drake had probably a touchdown. There was no one between him and the end zone there if he could have gotten the ball out to him. He definitely beat him there.
It certainly did. Yeah, that ball was very underthrown by Carson Schecker. Certainly one gets a little more air under it he would like to have back. So here we are, start of the third quarter. Gehlen Catholic up on Hinton 7-6 in a non-district matchup. Week 1 of the high school football season, it is upon us. 2 receivers either side, Schecker under center, single back of the backfield, and Carson takes a snap, pitches right. Wyatt Coons trying to bounce off tackle. He gets vertical along the right hash across the 15, and he's tackled down at the 17-yard line. A pickup of 4 will make it 3rd and 6.
Yeah, that's a nice little run there, Wyatt, off that right-hand side there for him. On that previous play, I don't think we've seen play action out of Gehlen yet tonight, have we? So I think that was a good call, maybe coming out of half. Maybe Galen's heavy run, especially every time so far they pretty much ran it the first play. So get Hinton back on their on the heels a little bit there. So it's nice to see. Fortunately didn't come through, but got a nice, looks like 4 or 5 yard run on that second down.
And
there.
if you're confident in Wyatt's ability to get 4 or 5 yards,
yeah,
why not take a shot?
Yeah, like we talked
down?
about earlier. He gets 5-6 yards of carry anyway for sure. Absolutely.
3rd and 6 for Gehlen. Balls at their own 17-yard line. High snap. Schecker corrals it. Throws a screen left. That ball is short and well incomplete. They were looking for Tarek Mayrose on the coverage to make the hit. Was Colin Dunkel. Incomplete pass. 4th and 6 and a punting situation for the Jays.
Yeah, unfortunately that was probably more of a timing issue. So once the snap gets high, kind of throws that timing off for that route there. So that's too bad. But obviously Gehlen can't go for it here inside the red zone on 4th down. We talked about a lot of times in high school it's 4-down territory almost pretty much wherever you're at.
Right.
But this may be a little too close in a game that's 7-6, that's for sure.
Yeah, might be a bit of an exaggeration of that thought here tonight. So the Blackhawks will send 2 men back. It's Cameron Robbins and Connor Kramer once again. Colden Wilson to line up at the punt, and he does get away a right-footed, a bit of a spiraling punt. It carries along the right sideline after bouncing across midfield, and it goes down at the Hinton 42-yard line. Not a bad punt there for Colden. He will end up picking up 41 yards in that punt. And the Blackhawks will have 1st and 10 of their own 42. 10:49 to go in the third quarter, and a 7-6 Gehlen advantage.
Yeah, that was a nice punt for sure. Looked like the guys back for Hinton there were about 50 yards back, and that seems a little deep maybe in high school football. Because Colton got a nice kick there, but they had to run up to that ball there. So I wonder why they're a little deep there, but we'll definitely take it.
Well, and with the wind that was here tonight, I think in the first half you could probably have gone back, but that flag has died down. There's not much wind right now.
Right, that's true, Daniel. You're right. They probably were still adjusting to that wind. You're probably right.
So
there.
maybe, but with the lack of wind, I thought they'd bring it up too. You make a good point as well. 1st and 10 for the 42. Here's Mathiasen. Option play right. He does pitch it across the 45 to Cameron Robbins across midfield. He's into Gehlen territory down at the 43-yard line. Well, there's a penalty flag upfield about 5 yards from the line of scrimmage. I think this one might be coming back too.
Yeah, that option's been big for him. They had a nice early run. That was big for him. There it was again for, 14 yards there. And nice that it's coming back for him.
It's a block in the back. So a block in the back downfield, and that is costly for the Blackhawks. They've had a couple of big plays get taken back because of some penalties downfield. And, yeah, it is worth noting that their option run scored them their touchdown early in the game. So
and it was in a similar situation, obviously about the same yard line, That's the first time they've gone back to that, though, I think, since that touchdown run, at least to this right-hand side. A little shocked that they haven't hit that up a few more times with the athleticism they have in that backfield.
Well, outside of the penalty, that was a good choice. So a 4-yard loss with a penalty downfield. So it's 1st and 14 from the Hinton 38-yard line. Mathiasen motions 2 tight ends left to right, a receiver on either side as well. Now penalty flag is thrown. The play clock was down to 2, so it's not a delay of game necessarily.
Looked like a lineman moved up front there.
Yep, it is a false start. And man, now Hinton's been bit by the penalty bug. Gehlen was bit by in the first half.
It's the exact same scenario. It just rolled reverse in their first drive in the first half.
This is not the way the Blackhawks wanted to come out of the locker room here at this point. They have not been moving the ball effectively at all. Again, their play did run the ball pretty well, but the penalties have hurt them now. So now it's 1st and nearly 20, 1st and 19. Ball at the Hinton 33-yard line. Out of the pistol is Mathiasen. 2 receivers to the left, 2 tight ends right. Takes a snap, gives. That is Cameron Robbins running off the left side. He carries him between the hash across the 40, 45, drags a Jay defender near midfield. He's down at the 49-yard line. Big run for Cameron Robbins. He gains 16. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Man, I've been talking wide up most of the game. That Robbins runs real hard, too, through that hole. Once he makes that first guy miss, he really hits that second gear and gets going to that second level. That was a really nice run out of him.
He's carried the ball 4 times tonight for 69 yards and a touchdown. That is over 15 yards a carry. And now it's 2nd and 3 for the Blackhawks. Ball is at their own 49-yard line. They got to get to the Gehlen 48 to move the chains and keep the drive going. On 2nd and 3, Mathiasen lines up in the gun. He has 2 receivers left, 1 receiver right, and a tight end on the left side. And Duncan takes a helmet-high snap. He gets the ball down, hands it to Robbins. He stood up at the line of scrimmage. He will go no further. He gets back to the line of scrimmage. No more on the stop by the Gehlen front unit. It'll be 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, Drake just shredded his blocker there and just kind of stood there and waited for him and then stood him up and knocked him back. That was a great play out of Drake for sure.
8:50 to go in the 3rd quarter. Gehlen leads Hinton 7-6 on our American Bank scoreboard. And now it is 3rd down and 3 for Hinton.
Galen's interior linemen pretty quick. Big guys, but Mason and Drake are pretty quick guys, so they're good to have up that middle, that's for sure.
Well, here's a big play now. A bit of a power pistol look, if you will, with a fullback. 2 receivers to the right, tight end left. Snap to Mathiasen, play action, looking to throw quickly. Nothing's there. Mathiasen escaping pressure. Now he goes down for a sack. Mason Small brings him down at the 45-yard line. It's a loss of 4. It'll be 4th and 8, and the Blackhawks will punt.
Yeah, great play by Mason, but Colden won't get much credit for that, but he definitely shifted him up in the pocket, so that was good to see Colden get some pressure out of the end spot there, and then, kind of push him right into Mason's arms. That was a great play by the Jays' defensive front line.
Boy, the penalties really hurt the Blackhawks on that drive. They had a 16-yard gain on 1st down and could not move the chain, so they'll punt. Max Costello to get it away. Wyatt Coons lining up inside his own 20. Good snap, and now the punt is away. Right-footed wobbler. Coons fields it at his own 23, and does so with a fair catch. And so the Jays will start the ball there. They'll get it after a 32-yard punt. 7:42 to go in the 3rd, and now the Jays have the ball, and well, they tried to get something, a big spark going offensively the last drive. Let's see what they do here.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they start with. Start play action last time. I'd be willing to bet maybe we'll go back to Wyatt here on this first play. Get yourself, seated in the second half a little bit. Get your feet wet, that type of thing. Yep. So see what we call here.
Wyatt's been getting the ball a lot. He has touched the ball well over 50% of the time for Gehlen in this game. He's carried it 18 times, 89 yards, and a touchdown. So 1st and 10 here for Gehlen. Schecker goes under center once again. 2 receivers left, 2 tight ends right. Coons in the backfield. They give it to Wyatt, running off tackle right side along those tight ends. He carries along the right numbers, and he's tackled down with a positive gain to the 28-yard line, a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
That was a nice run by Wyatt there, and the guy's got a little space up front. 5 yards, can't hate that for 1st down. So get another guy down here.
And it's another Blackhawk, it looks like. I think it might be a cramp. Yeah, it was a very brief look at for Cameron Robbins. Robbins was the one down, and so because they blew the whistle for him, he's going to have to come off the field for a play. That's not a guy the Blackhawks can afford to lose here tonight.
They're doing a water break maybe,
it looks like they're also going to do a water break. So we'll take a quick break with them. 7:28 to go in the 3rd, 7-6. Gehlen leads back after this in Hinton here on KLEM.
Lamar's Physical Therapy wants to wish our student athletes a successful and injury-free season. But if injury occurs, our therapists are here to get you back into the game. No doctor referral needed. Call us at 546-1718. Lamar's Physical Therapy, your hometown therapy provider.
Men's fashions, tuxedo rentals, and dry cleaning services. That's Mesher's Clothing, downtown Lamar's. Open weekdays 9 till 5:30, Saturdays 9 till 4. See Chad for all your fashion needs. That's Mesher's in the middle, downtown Lamar's.
This is Mason Small, and you're listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
7:20 to go in the 3rd quarter. Gehlen has a 7-6 lead over Hinton out of the quick stoppage. It's 2nd and 5 for the Jays from their own 28. Schecker under center, takes a snap, play action, bootleg left. There's pressure in his backfield, lobs it up over the middle of the field. The ball is caught. Drake Knight brings it in at the 43. How did Schecker get it off? How did he find a white jersey? It's a 16-yard gain and a 1st down.
I'm sure he won't agree with my observation, but it looks like he just turned and kind of threw that one there. But he's going to tell me that that Drake was open the whole time, and that's who he threw to on purpose. But no, he was definitely open. He probably comfort, playing 7-on-7 all summer, mini camp in this summer. Probably had that play picked out. That was a great play by the Jays.
Credit Stone Hall. He was all in his grill about to bring Schecker down, but the Jays still find a way to get a Hy-Vee first down. They're at their own 43-yard line. Schecker under center with a tight end either side, 2 receivers right, and again Coons in the backfield as the tailback. Schecker takes a snap, and before he does, there's a penalty flag. The play clock was down to 0. Going to be a delay of game against the Jays. This will be 1st and 15 upcoming.
Hate to see that after a first down again,
There's been a lot of that tonight, isn't there?
Yeah. That delay of game is tough. It's just not probably being quite ready on what you're going with the plays, maybe not expecting to get a 20-yard gain there for yourself. So need to bounce back here and get another big run or a pass here for the Jays.
7-6, Gehlen leads. 6:25 to go in the third on our American Bank scoreboard. Schecker under center, single back of the backfield on 1st and 15. Takes a snap, pitches right. Coons trying to run off the right side near the sideline. He gets to the 40, tight ropes the sideline, and might have gotten those 5 yards back. He did. Got them all in one fell swoop to the 43. That'll make it 2nd and 10.
Yeah, he does a nice job getting that outside and kind of sometimes making something out of nothing. So he did a nice job on that run. Looked like Gehlen tried to pull a couple guys, but couldn't really get out in front of him once again.
2nd down and 10 upcoming for Gehlen with 6:12 to go in the third quarter. And the Jays are hoping to start the season 1-0. Something they don't do very often because they have to play this good Hinton squad year in and year out in week 1. 2nd down and 10 from their own 43-yard line. Under center, Schecker gives up the middle to Coons, and a penalty flag blows the play dead. So a penalty against Gehlen. I think we might have movement this time. And that'll back the Jays up 5 more yards. And so 1 step forward or 2 steps back, I guess, if you will. And it's 2nd and 15 again.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what would have happened there, but it kind of looked like Wyatt had a little seam again there to go for about 7 or 8 for sure before making heavy contact. So you hate to see that right away, especially when you got those yards right back just a second ago.
So big 2nd down, 15 here for Gehlen at their own 38-yard line on a gorgeous night here in Hinton. We're glad you're spending it with us. Schecker goes under center, single back of the backfield, and he takes a snap, gives to Coons. They run that same play. He runs it along the right hash, and he did not quite get all 5 of those yards back that time. He gains 3 to the 41 to set up 3rd and 12. But those 3 runs do put Wyatt over the century mark. He's carried the ball 21 times unofficially for 102 yards.
You got Drake limping back to the huddle there. I don't like to see that.
Oh, yeah, I do see what you're saying, Drake.
Maybe just a cramp or just got stepped on maybe.
Could be a couple of, he's rubbing out that right calf.
He didn't go down. He was about 8 yards downfield, tangled up with a guy, but he didn't go down. Maybe just got stepped on there in the calf or kicked, something like that.
It's 3rd and 12. Gehlen well behind the chains. Under center with Schecker. Receiver either side. He takes the snap. Gives to Coons running off the left side. Could not get around the first tackler. And he's brought down after a pickup of 3 to the 44. It'll be 4th and 9. Here comes the Gehlen punt team.
Yeah, it looked like he was missing about 1 block there, and he probably could have gone for about 10 yards, but obviously came up a little short there. Tough running. Like we just talked about with Hinton, self-inflicted wounds coming out of half. Same thing with Gehlen there. A couple, penalties, kind of drive killers there.
Colin Wilson will line up to punt. And again, as we talked about a little bit on the a previous punt, the wind has very clearly died down. The flag is barely moving, but whatever wind we did have throughout the night is going at the back of the Gehlen punt right now. So we'll see if it maybe kicks up at the right time for the Jays. Wilson to punt it away. Kramer and Robbins back there. A high snap. Wilson got it down. His line drive punt bounced inside the 35. Takes a bit of a midway bounce and is dead down at the 29-yard line. Gehlen Catholic will have 1st down and 10 from their, or Hinton will have 1st and 10 from their own 29-yard line.
I think that took every inch of Colden's height and athletic ability there to catch that ball. I'm glad he did because that would have been a big play for Hinton. Then he ended up getting a pretty nice punt off, so that was good to see that for Colden.
So Hinton will get the ball at their own 29. And the Blackhawks will start with 1st down and 10. Just outside of their own red zone. Guess we got some candy tossed up to us.
They're flinging some bings. Should have reached down and grabbed that, Daniel. You missed your opportunity there.
I am a big bing guy, too.
They're pretty good. I will agree.
I enjoy them. But here we go. 1st and 10 at the 29. I can't think about chocolate too long. Here's Mathiasen under center, I formation, 2 tight ends shift from right to left. And Mathiasen takes a snap. He gives along the left side. Robbins bounces off tackle. He's got a crease across the 35. He jumps over a hurdle across the 40. There's penalty flags back behind the play, though, as Robbins picks up nearly 15 yards, but I think it's coming back again.
Yeah, that Robbins, he's leaning over again, but he sat out pretty much the whole defensive possession, last possession, kind of nursing that cramp that he had in his leg. Still coming off the field now, gimping a little bit, but he's running hard when he's in there, that's for sure.
Boy, and they called a holding on Hinton again. It goes from a 15-yard gain to nearly a 10-yard loss. The play was a little bit downfield. So the Blackhawks will get this at their own 21-yard line. They end up losing 7 on that play.
Obviously not sure if that holds what sprung the run, but hate to see that when it's about 15 yards out of the play, from a coaching staff. You don't really like seeing that.
Yeah, those are penalties that are going to keep Coach Harderson up at night, especially if the Blackhawks lose this game by 1. And again, it's worth noting these non-district games are not mega impactful in the grand scheme of the playoff picture, but they do prepare you well for once you get into district play. Here's a swing pass coming right side. That ball is dropped. It's an incomplete pass. They did say it was a forward pass. They were looking for Braden Anderson along the flats along the right side. Incompletion will make it 2nd down and 17.
Looked like he had a little space there, too. If he holds on to that, he might go for a few yards. It's a nice little play call there, kind of bringing him around the outside here and kind of in some open space, but just couldn't hold on to the ball. So that was a big play.
Again, Hinton stays behind the chains. 3:50 to go in the third. 7-6. Gehlen still leading by just 1 point on our American Bank scoreboard.
We go back to that previous penalty and at about a 15-yard gain, and then it ended up being a 7-yard loss. Over a 20-yard difference in play is a big deal, especially in high school football.
Yeah, I know it's week 1, but gosh, those penalties are brutal right now. 2nd and 17. Play action. Dropping to pass. Mathiasen throws along the right side. Diving try by Zach Anderson. Couldn't bring it in. There's a penalty flag back way behind the play as Anderson was diving inside the 30. Could not bring in that ball. Right now it'd be 3rd and 17, but we got to await the penalty. It is downfield, which makes me think it might be on the Jays. I think it is. They might get
holding or pass interference. Yep. I would guess holding maybe because he was kind of out of the play.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Defensive holding against Gehlen. Another killer penalty. And that is not going to be an automatic 1st down. It's a 10-yard penalty up to the 31, so that in turn will make it about 2nd and 8, it looks like.
Well, I guess we're lucky we got that 7 yards earlier. Otherwise we'd have got a 1st down there, so that's a big play. Once again, though, not really in the play, so you hate to see that from a coaching staff point of view for sure.
Yeah, that's way behind the action. But here we go, 2nd down and 8 from the 31. Mathiasen in the pistol, receiver either side. He takes a helmet high snap, gives to Cameron Robbins. He's got a big hole along the right side, up the sideline 40, 45, 50. He's tackled out of bounds in Gehlen territory at the 48-yard line. Cameron Robbins gets a big gain of 22 and a Hinton 1st down.
Yeah, big block on the end there. I don't think he was a hold, but he kind of stretched his jersey a little bit because he had him on the inside there. It was a nice block and kind of sprung him for a big run there. That Robbins runs real hard, like I've been saying. He's a nice little runner there.
It's the first down of the second half for the Blackhawks. They finally have something to cheer about offensively as they get a big gain without a penalty. And now 1st and 10 for Hinton. Ball's at the Gehlen 47-yard line. Mathiasen lines up in a pistol. 2 tight ends to the right, 2 receivers to the left. As the sophomore stands tall, helmet high snap, he gives to Robbins on a counter along the left side. He's got a gain across the 45, stopped at the 42. That'll be a pickup of 5 to make it 2nd and 5.
Yeah, that's a nice run up the middle there. That snap comes hard to that when they're in that shotgun there. It comes real fast to him. So hopefully he holds on to them. Don't want to get one of them by him and end up being a big play for the Jays.
Boy, it's almost been a total flip-flop of the halves. Gehlen, center exchange was bad, penalties. Hinton's having the same thing.
Yeah, exactly. Need to clean up on both sides of the ball for both teams. Like we said a couple times, first game of the year, jitters, all that. New guys, lots of new guys on both sides of the ball, so it can be expected, obviously.
2nd and 5 for Hinton at the Gehlen 42, beg your pardon. 2 receivers right, 2 tight ends left. Out of the gun, Mathiasen, another high snap, gets it down. He's looking to run along the right side. There was nowhere for him to go. Mathiasen is stopped for a loss back to the 45. Mason Small was in there. Drake Knipe in there as well. Loss of 3, and it's 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Drake kind of stuck his nose in there coming up from the defensive backfield and and standing those blockers up and kind of making first contact with the runner, and then Mason came in from behind, know where to go, know where to cut back, and good swarming defense there by the Jays, that's for sure. That was good play.
Worth noting, the Jays did that without Drake Hudson on the field. He just came back onto the field from the sideline, and I believe he just replaced Parker Cave as well. Gehlen also looks to be going into a 3-man front. No, now they are into a 4-man front with a 2 technique on the outside. Here's a pitch play left side. It goes to Cameron Robbins, off tackle running, sheds a tackle in the backfield, carries across the 40. He's got a first down. Big gain for Cameron Robbins to the 35-yard line, gain of 10, and it's a big Hinton first down.
Yeah, it looks like Gehlen was slightly out of position there. We've got another guy down. Might be Robbins again with another cramp. But, yeah, it looks like they've been shifting Venegas and Wilson from strong to weak side, and that's what they did. And then they kind of walk up Colden and, stand him up a little bit on that defensive end spot.
That came well after Robbins was done running, and, yeah, I believe it is Cameron who is down after that play is over. 2:11 to go in this third quarter, and Gehlen's lead is 7-6 over Hinton on the American Bank scoreboard. Now that Robbins sits up, we can see it as number 7. Cameron, as you've talked about, TJ, all night, he has run the ball exceptionally well. 8 carries, 106 yards, and a touchdown for Robbins. He's also caught the ball a couple of times for 7 yards, and he's been really good special teams-wise. That's a player that the Blackhawks would like to utilize, and it's also worth noting his brother Micah not able to play tonight, and so you get a 2-headed monster of the 2 Robbins. That'll make this Blackhawk offense really cruise.
Yeah, he just runs so hard. He's very athletic. He's quick. He's little, but he looks like he's pretty stout, for a little guy. Pretty thick, so that's good to see for him. And just runs real hard. Needs to get some Gatorade or pickle juice or something like that, and then get some sodium, right? Get them cramps out of the legs.
I was going to say, what is the remedy? Pickle juice, I've heard.
That's what they say,
I'm not an athlete, so I wouldn't know.
Me either anymore.
You were, though. You had a better career than I did.
Yeah, I think I had cramps one time maybe in high school,
right.
So, and it was come off the sideline, just try to stretch it out yourself, and then get back out there. So probably a little different. They probably have some sort of Gatorade pouches or chews or something nowadays.
Yeah, you were born in the wrong era, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so there you go.
Simpler times, Daniel.
Yes, for sure. Well, Robbins is able to walk off the field under his own power. That is great to see, and again, kind of it reinforces the fact that it is probably cramps. And again, on a warmer night, that usually ends up being more of an issue. The muscles tighten up a little bit more, and so that is very common to see in Week 1. They hurt like the dickens, but that's just kind of the situation you're in as this Week 1 goes along.
Well, once you get them, it's hard to shake them,
that's true.
And it's probably can't drink all the water now. It's a little too late. You need to drink it last night. Yesterday. That's what as coaches, that's what you always talk about. Hydrate the night before.
Coaches even talk about Monday.
Yes.
Start hydrating Monday in preparation for Friday.
Yes.
So here we go, 1st and 10 for the Blackhawks at the Gehlen 35. After Robbins leaves the game, they hand it off to Zach Anderson of the backfield. He's twisted up and brought down for a loss. They're going to give him a yard loss to the 36. It is a big loss there on the carry by Anderson. It'll be 2nd down and 11.
I think that was Spangler that got in there pretty quick. Blew up that play. Number 50 got in that backfield and blew that up out of the linebacker spot. It's good to see that. I don't think he really came on a blitz necessarily. I think he just read it immediately. He probably saw something familiar in the formation that they've seen a few times tonight.
They're going to bring Robbins back out there, so it's just the one play that he misses. 1:25 left in the third, and it's 7-6. Gehlen leads Hinton in Week 1 of the high school football season. Who will start the year 1-0? 2nd down and 12 from the Gehlen 37. 2 tight ends shift left to right. Snap to Mathiasen, trying to option. The pitch is picked off. Drake Knipe runs it back. Right seam 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown Gehlen. Drake Knipe picked off the pitch and runs it back for 6. The Jays lead it 13-6 on the American Bank scoreboard.
What a play by Drake. We just get done hyping up Hinton on that option run there. Drake read that perfectly. Couldn't have been in a better spot. Right there, right time, right place, right time. Picked it up, didn't miss a beat, caught it in stride, and just kept on going, and no one could catch him, that's for sure.
Now, technically, it'll go as a fumble in the stat sheet, but it was basically like he picked off a pass and ran it back for a touchdown. Touchdowns in today's game, of course, brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Michael Crank. What a
heck of a play for the Jays defense. Nice job, Drake. That was great to see.
That was an option pitch that Drake just picked out of the air and ran back for a touchdown. Now here's Kyler Van Voorst for the cherry on top of the point after kick. His right-footed boot has plenty of leg, and it is good. What a difference that makes as Gehlen takes a 14-6 lead. 1:03 left to go before the third quarter ends. We'll be back with more high school football in just a moment. Stay with us in Hinton. You're listening to High School Football on KLEM.
Young and old alike enjoy the competition of high school sports. Some participate, some watch, and some remember how it was. It's only a game, but it offers great life lessons and memories that last a lifetime. A few thoughts from Dan and Lori Rexwinkle of Rexwinkle Funeral Homes in Lamars and Akron.
Tail Trends Dog Grooming supports all of our area high school athletes. At Tail Trends Grooming, your pet is sure to get spa-like treatment, bathing, grooming, and nail trimming available. Contact Tail Trends Dog Grooming today at 546-7318.
Make sure you can see the ball clearly. Schedule your annual eye exam today at Gehlen Family Eye Care, downtown Lamars. They'll treat you like family, and they have the most stylish eyewear selection in town. Gehlen Family Eye Care.
This is Jeremy Schindler, head coach for the Gehlen Catholic football team. You're listening to Jays Football on 1410 AM, 96.9 FM, KLEM.
Welcome back to Hinton in the Held football field alongside TJ Britt and Daniel Versteg with you. A massive play in this game. Hinton was looking to run an option pitch. Drake Knight blew the play up. He was right there, snatched the pitch out of the air, ran it back 60 yards for a touchdown, and Gehlen leads at 14-6 on the American Bank scoreboard. Boy, that is a play that could drastically change the momentum.
Yeah, you know, obviously in high school football you don't hear a ton of crowd noise, but it definitely sucked the air out of the stadium tonight, that's for sure.
No kidding. We are on the Hinton side of the field, and the Blackhawk fans have not had much to cheer about since the first 2 minutes of this game. They're looking to change that over the next 13 with 1:03 to go in the third quarter. Kyler Van Voorst approaches. He sends a high right-footed end-over-end kick, looking to get this to the end zone, and it's backed up to the goal line, fielded at the 2, running it out along the right seam to the 15-20, 25-30. There is a penalty flag as Cale Zievenbergen is dragged down at the 29-yard line. Not a bad return, but that penalty is not going to help the cause.
Yeah, it looked like another holding there on the up man for Hinton is what it looked like to me. Probably didn't need to, because I don't think they gained much after he got to that point anyway, but obviously didn't know he was going to cut to the right, you know, and kind of just held on to the jersey there.
It is a hold, and again, that is a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. So the return got to the 29, but the penalty was back to the 21. So this is going to put Hinton at their own 11-yard line. Boy, brutal when they're trying to come back from an 8-point deficit.
Yeah, especially after that play like we just talked about that we can't get enough of, you know, that fumble recovery basically there, and then they come out and have a penalty right after that, and that's tough. You know, that's a tough play there for them.
You did also mention during the break, the point after kick is huge because as it sits right now, the best Hinton can do with a touchdown and 2 is tie the game.
Right, you know, and a lot of times when they kicked early, maybe don't have 2-point conversions plays set up, so, you know, you have to dig in your bag of tricks maybe or something.
So we'll see what the Blackhawks have in store. They have 89 yards to go. Mathiasen under center I formation. He turns and gives Cameron Robbins hit in the backfield. He goes down for a loss. Cameron Robbins stopped for a loss. There were so many white jerseys around him. They lose a yard to the 10. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Yeah, great team defense, team tackling there out of the Jays. They're all pretty pumped up now. Obviously, they got a little momentum. You can see guys high-fiving, slapping shoulder pads. You like to see that out of the defense, that's for sure. Little intensity.
From Lamar's Community Stadium, it's 21-14. The Bulldogs just took the lead over Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln. 4.5 minutes to go in that one. We'll hope we have a happy Ken Vigdal to talk to coming up tomorrow morning on the Coaches Show. We'll see if that continues. So 2nd and 11 from the 10. High snap. Mathiasen grabs it with one hand, drops the throw, lost the football on his backswing, and the Blackhawks dive on it at the 1. There was pressure in his face, but the pressure did not force the fumble. It's a loss of 9. The Blackhawks are on their own 1, and it's 3rd and 20.
You know, maybe that heat, the hot, you know, heat again. His hand's a little sweaty. Can't wipe him on the pants. Catching the ball, kind of like you said, just kind of fell out of his hand back by his hip. No one was really even that. I mean, they were close to him, but not that close to cause that.
Well, we are going to march this ball all the way to the other side of the field, and we'll start the fourth quarter here in just a moment. Got to get this all the way back to the other side 1 yard line. So your score after 3 quarters, it's Gehlen 14, Hinton 6. Stay tuned. 4th quarter coming up next. Blackhawks will have it at their own 1 when we come back here on KLEM.
Certified Public Accountants Cruise and Cruise extend their support to all the athletes and remind everyone, in the spirit of sports, participation is more important than winning. Cruise and Cruise Accounting, proud to be a sponsor of KLEM Sports.
When it comes to keeping your lawn looking great and having the right equipment to get the job done, think the Campbell's Group. Campbell's Lawn and Landscaping has you covered with professional lawn care and landscaping services. And when you need equipment, repairs, or rentals, turn to Campbell's Rental and Repair, featuring quality Toro products and more. One group, 2 great ways to get the job done right. Campbell's Group, quality service and quality equipment.
Kemp's Dairy of Lamar's is a proud supporter of area athletics. They focus on strong, healthy bodies with all their dairy products. And they continue to strive hard to provide the best possible dairy products to their customers. That's Kemp's Dairy of Lamar's.
This is Drake Knipe, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
Well, a good time for Drake Knipe to welcome us back to the broadcast after his huge play on the option pitch. Minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Snatches it out of the air. Basically an interception, if you will, and then he runs it back 60 yards for a touchdown. That is a huge play in this game. The Jays lead it 14-6 over Hinton as we get ready to start the 4th quarter with TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. And the last 2 plays of the 3rd quarter could not have gone worse for the Blackhawks. They're going to have 3rd and 20 from their own 1 yard line.
Looks like they have it spotted at the 4 there, 3.
Maybe it is just outside of the 1. Yeah, okay, it's a little bit further away for the 1, but boy, anything inside the 5, not good news.
Especially in the shotgun again.
They're 3 yards deep of the end zone in the shotgun. Yeah, here it goes. It's Mathiasen dropping the pass. The Jays bring the blitz. Mathiasen steps through it. Here he goes, running up the left seam 5, gets ankle tackled in the open field. Drake Knipe again. He's played well on defense. The open field tackle at the 8, gain of 6. Will make it 4th down and long, so still a punting situation.
Yeah, Drake's all over the field.
Yes.
Lots of speed there. That looks good. Defense is pumped up after that big play last drive on the touchdown. Then they have that. So Gehlen's had some good success here in that 3rd quarter.
Blackhawks are going to have to punt it out of their own end zone. Max Costello is standing about 5 yards deep in his own end zone, and Wyatt Coons is standing at the Hinton 45-yard line. So here's the snap. Costello gets it away. Right-footed knuckleball punt. This sails over Coons' head, takes a big Blackhawk roll across midfield, down inside the 35, and it's down at the 32-yard line. Huge punt from Max Costello. That is, I believe, a 60-yard punt for Max, and a huge one at that. Jays will have not as good a field position as they thought at their own 32.
Yeah, just kind of line drive over Wyatt's head there, and probably made the right decision letting it go because there was a Blackhawk on his tail there. Hate to see him pick it up and make a worse scenario even worse out of it. Right. So, or a bad scenario even worse. So probably the right decision to let it roll and just let the play go dead once it got over his head.
Well, and again, Gehlen would like to score, but the big thing is just a long drive.
Yeah, definitely, and the way that they've had success lately, not that big a deal. Just still have the ball, so. Not terrible field position, so got to get something going here.
Schecker under center, takes the snap. He gives to Wyatt Coons. He's got a big hole across the 40, runs over a Blackhawk defender. He is down to the 44-yard line. A gain of 12 for Wyatt Coons. That is good for another Hy-Vee first down.
Yeah, Wyatt wasn't worried about the ball going over his head there. He said, just give me the ball on offense, and I'll get it back for us. So that's a good run for Wyatt, just kind of puts his head down through that line and then gets through that second level, and then, like we said, falls forward. Just a hard runner. Offensive line's doing a great job opening space, tight ends, everyone, wide receivers blocking. It's looking good right now for the Jays.
And the Jays really have no urgency to the line of scrimmage. Take this time down. 10:42 to play. Jays up 8. Schecker under center. Blackhawks stack the box. Here they come with 6. Hand it off to Coons, running off tackle left side. He gets to the edge, is able to get 2 yards. Maybe that's it. To the 45. They'll give him just 1. It'll be 2nd down and 9 after a very short carry.
Yeah, once again, Hinton brought pressure up the middle, and Gehlen kind of ran away from it. Kind of thought maybe it'd be big for him because they had so many guys up the middle. The front guys for Gehlen kind of held the line there. They did a nice job picking that blitz up. Pretty impressive. Just couldn't get the edge, so got to bounce back here on this 2nd down.
He also stayed in play, so at 10:05 to go in the game, the clock is running. It's second down and 10 from the Gehlen 44. Under center, Matthias, and a receiver either side. Takes a snap, hands it off. Coons running up the middle, gets away from a defender across midfield. He runs over another defender, tackled just shy of the line to gain. They'll spot him at the Hinton 47. It's a 9-yard gain. It's 3rd and 1.
Yeah, that's a nice run once again out of Wyatt. We haven't seen anyone else in the backfield yet, and Wyatt's still running hard. Need to kind of salt this one away. Hopefully get a couple more big carries out of him and unwind this clock down and put another touchdown on the board.
And he's been a workhorse. 25 carries for 126 yards and a touchdown. It's now 3rd and 1. Schecker under center. The Blackhawks line up to stop the run. Here's the handoff to Coons. He busts by him, and he's got a first down across the 45 to the 43. Gains 4 on 3rd and 1. That's good for another Gehlen Catholic first down.
Yeah, that's a good play call there. Just giving Wyatt the ball up the middle there. Gain another 4. Expected out of Wyatt, expected out of the front line there, open space, just kind of basically just has to fall forward for that first down. That was nice.
And again, first downs in this game are brought to you by our friends at Hy-Vee. So the clock will continue to tick down, and Hinton can really just be helpless to this point, as long as they can get a stop. 9:05 to play, 14-6. In favor of the Jays. It's 1st and 10 from the Hinton 43-yard line. Under center, Schecker gives. Coons trying to work around a defender. He is stopped for a loss. The Blackhawks get great pursuit that time. Stop made by Noah Worth. It's a loss of a yard. It's 2nd and 11.
Yeah, that was a good play by the Hinton defense. Looked like they brought a little pressure and kind of had some guys up in the line there, so that was nice for them. Get a little stop, get a little momentum back, or try to stop Gehlen momentum here, keep it behind the sticks. Both teams like to run the ball, so obviously Galen's had success, had some big runs, so is Hinton, but being behind the sticks isn't the best scenario for running teams.
8:25 to go in the ball game. 14-6. Gehlen leads Hinton in week 1 of the high school football season. The Jays are looking for their first win over Hinton in 4 years. As Carson Schecker lines up at the shotgun. They're going to try this again. 2 receivers on either side. The snap is high. Schecker gets it down, throws a screen pass right, caught by Knipe, trying to get away from Dawson Spees, and Spees with a good open field tackle right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the screen pass to Knipe. It's 3rd and 11.
Yeah, it looked like he might have slipped a little bit there, held himself up by his hand. I don't think he would have gotten much else if he hadn't slipped, but nice coverage by Spees there. Kind of right place, right time. Nothing really going for Drake, but Drake's had a nice night, offense and defense kind of all over the field. Quick little guy there, so like to see get him the ball in open space, maybe make a guy miss. Spees is just pretty athletic there.
Yeah, regardless of how this game turns out, Drake Knipe has had a great game. And now it's 3rd and 11 for the Jays. Ball's at the Hinton 44-yard line. This is a big 3rd down. Blackhawks have got to get off the field. 2 receivers either side. Schecker under center with a single back in the backfield. He turns and gives to Coons running off the left side. And Wyatt gains. Oh, he busts out of the tackle. Outside the numbers. 30, 25, 20, 15. He goes out of bounds just outside the 10. Wyatt looked dead to rights. Pops out of the pile. He gains 30 yards for a Hy-Vee first down to the 14.
I think even Hinton thought that he was down there. That's why they maybe stopped kind of pursuing him, and he kind of just got held up and then bounced right off and bounced that left-hand side and said it probably 5 times, but man, he just finishes runs hard, and so you gotta really wrap him up. Them legs just don't stop running. Even when you do tackle him, he's always falling forward, so that's good to see, and Wyatt just bouncing off tacklers there.
Gehlen also makes their 2nd trip into the top-notch automotive red zone. It is 1st and 10 for Gehlen at the Hinton 14-yard line. 2 receivers on either side of Schecker under center. He turns, gives to Wyatt Coons, punching up the middle to the 10. He's just outside the 5 and stopped at the 6. It's a gain of 8. It'll be 2nd and 2 on another great run by Wyatt.
Yeah, that was
a
great
monster night.
Yeah, man, that was great. Especially in that red zone, like we've been talking about the clock running, just kind of keep salting it away. Just under 7 minutes, left in the game. Another big 7-yard run out of Wyatt. So got to keep this going, keep that momentum going. Front guys just keep the legs moving. At this point, we need to get about 3-4 yards carry and just punch it in the end zone.
Yeah, the Gehlen scores here. It's not going to be a whole lot of time for Hinton to do anything with it. 2nd and 2. Ball's at the Hinton 6-yard line. Schecker under center. Tight ends either side. Turns, gives to Coons straight ahead. He bounced out of a tackle. He's near the line to gain. I think they got it to the 3. That's a 3-yard pickup on 2nd and 2. It'll be 1st and goal for Gehlen.
Yeah, you like the spot you're in here with on the 3-yard line. Have probably four plays to punch it in. So obviously don't want to have any penalties here or any exchange issues. But you like where Gehlen's at right here with Wyatt in the backfield and the way that we've been moving guys up front and running the ball.
It's another Hy-Vee first down as well. First and goal for Gehlen from the 3. 6 minutes to go in the game, 14-6 in favor of Gehlen. Schecker under center, receiver either side, tight ends on either side of the line. He takes a snap, gives to Coons. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But now Coons is stopped, just a yard gained. They'll stop him at about the 2. They'll give him the 1 as well. 2-yard gain at second and goal.
Yeah, one thing I kind of noticed, I kind of like Carson's demeanor when he approaches the line. He's real calm for a first-year starter. Lets every guy get set up, kind of analyze the defense. Lets Wyatt kind of get in the play. That's good to see. Comfort level out of him. A lot of seniors around him to kind of lead him, so it's good to see.
So here is second and goal. Jays have 3 plays to get 1 yard and put 6 points on the board with 5:20 left to play. Gehlen's going to take that play clock down. They probably won't line up until inside of 10. Now it's at 8, and now here they come to the line. Schecker under center. Single back is Coons. They hand it off to Wyatt. Straight ahead, lowers his shoulder into a Blackhawk defender. The second effort pushes him to the goal line. He's in for a Gehlen Catholic touchdown. Wyatt Coons' second score of the night, and this is a 2-possession game with 5:08 to play. It's 20-6 Gehlen.
Yeah, it looks like they probably haven't stopped behind the line of scrimmage there, but the big boys up front just kind of got behind Wyatt in a unconventional tush push and pushed him into the end zone.
Touchdowns in today's game as well, brought to you by State Farm Insurance, Michael Crank. As Wyatt Coons punches it in for a score from a yard out. His unofficial stat line tonight, 32 carries, 173 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Wow.
What a monster game.
That's a lot of carries. That's a lot of yards.
He will be resting good tomorrow. I don't know what he's doing. Hope he's got his feet up and enjoying a good movie and relaxing somewhere. Point after try upcoming. Snap and hold are good. The kick might have gotten tipped, and it's wide left. It is no good. The kick is no good, and so your score, 5:08 to go in the ball game. It's Gehlen 20, Hinton 6. We'll take a break. More high school football coming up next. See if the Blackhawks respond when we return to Hinton on KLEM.
Wagner Auto Supply is proud to support our area athletes and their families. As you travel from game to game, take care of your vehicle with new filters, batteries, windshield wipers, and wiper fluid from Wagner Auto Supply, 1st Street Northwest, Lamars.
Get more because you deserve more with Kylie Petty's Century 21 ProLink, serving Lamar since 2011. Wishing our local teams a successful season. Visit KyliePetty.com for your real estate needs. MRK Insurance knows that teamwork is dream work. At MRK Insurance, you get a great partner for all of your insurance needs. Visit them today on Central Avenue in Lamars for a no-obligation quote for all of your insurance needs. That's MRK Insurance in Lamars.
This is Carson Schecker, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
We welcome you back to Hinton in the Held Sports Complex alongside TJ Britt and Daniel Versteg with you. Gehlen Catholic potentially puts the dagger in the Blackhawks here tonight. They do so with an 11-play, 68-yard drive. I believe Wyatt touched the ball on basically every play, and he finalizes it with a 1-yard touchdown run. The drive also took 6 minutes and 1 second off of the clock. That is a textbook put the game away kind of drive.
Yeah, and both those are big things there. The scoring's huge, but taking 6 minutes off the clock for a team that likes to run the ball like Hinton does. I mean, they will show flashes of passing here and there, but they would like to hang their hat on running, that's for sure. So that was big-time score there.
Kyler Van Voorst lines up the end-over-end kick. There's a penalty flag. Jays might have lined up or got off the line offside. Cale Zevenbergen was ready to return from his own 5, but I think we got an offside against Gehlen. Yep. So the Blackhawks will elect to have them re-kick it from their own 35.
Yeah, I think we were setting a record for penalties tonight, too, maybe.
We might be. I got another good update from Lamar's community. The Bulldogs are up on Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln 28-14 right after their score with 4.5 minutes left. They had a pick 6. That has certainly helped out their cause as well. So again, with 5:08 to play in this game, Gehlen has a 20-6 lead. Again, worth noting that point after kick the Jays had right after Wyatt's last touchdown was no good. It might have been partially deflected at the line of scrimmage. But here we go, ready to kick this one off with Kyler Van Voorst, and he has, I've talked with Coach Schindler, he has really worked on his kicking ability in the offseason, and Coach Schindler really feels that Kyler's going to be a good weapon for them from the special team standpoint.
Yeah, he's really nice on kickoffs. Like we said, maybe out-kicks the coverage even. He kicks it so deep. And it's nice to have it in Class A to be able to kick PATs. Yes. That's a big deal. You know, potentially field goals down the road. You know, most small schools can't do things like that, so that is big.
Here comes the kickoff now from Van Voorst, 5 yards back. He nearly sails it over the head of Kramer, who fields at his own 13 along the left numbers, 20, 25 to the 30. Sidesteps a defender near the 35, steps out of a tackle, 40 along the left sideline with a penalty flag in there. That is down to the 41, and I think this again might go against Hinton. And boy, another huge penalty if it is.
Maybe a block in the back, maybe it kind of looked like.
Yeah, it could be. Question, I think Gehlen... Well, I wonder if the Jays might think it's on them, too. I'm not sure. It's be a big call.
They're really talking about it there, the umpire and the officials and the referees.
So we'll see. And got a personal foul penalty. It's against Hinton. I think it was after the play was over as well. So it's a 15-yard penalty. The Blackhawks had got it across the 40 and now get backed up inside their own 30. They'll have it at their own 25-yard line. Again, a costly penalty, and that they've had those on both sides of the ball tonight.
Yeah, you hate to see that, you know, for Hinton, the down 14, get a little good field position there. Obviously, that's a big costly penalty there.
So the Blackhawk offense is looking to get something rolling. With 5:01 to play, they trail by 2 touchdowns. It's 20-6 in favor of Gehlen Catholic. And now here is 1st and 25. Mathiasen motions a receiver left to right. They give it to him on the jet sweep. That's Mason White off tackle along the right side, and he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Big hit. Grant Harns was in there. Might have been a couple more.
I think that was Grant Harns. It looked like he picked him off his feet and kind of planted him. That was a nice play by Grant.
Marshall Sievers might have been on it as well. Either way, no gain. 2nd and 10. Or they'll give him a yard to the 26. So 1 yard, 2nd and 9. And now Hinton goes to work again. Mathiasen drops back to pass, throws it left side, overthrows Max Costello along the left sideline. Incomplete pass. It's 3rd and 9.
Yeah, Hinton's going a little hurry up there, a little quick to the line of scrimmage. So Galen's got to get up to the line, get ready. Got to expect that from here on out. Only 4.5 minutes left. You know, up 14. Probably see more from Hinton out of that. You know, out of that. So
20-6. Gehlen with the lead on the American Bank scoreboard. 2 touchdowns tonight from Wyatt Kuntz and a defensive score from Drake Knipe as well. It's been a big night for the Jays, especially here in the second half. Here is Duncan Mathiasen lining up in the pistol. 2 receivers to his left. Takes the snap. Drops back 5 steps. Looks to dump it off. A little slip screen right side. That is caught. Cameron Robbins across midfield. And now across the first down line to gain. He's got a first down up across the 40. There's a penalty flag downfield. And it's way away from the play.
Probably 40 yards away, Dan.
I mean, that is nowhere in the vicinity of where the ball is. So this is going to be a very hurtful penalty to whoever it is on. Based on Hinton's body language, this looks to be on the Blackhawks.
Yeah, I mean, that was opposite side of the field and 30 yards downfield from the play, or 20 for sure. That's a terrible penalty if it remains true there.
Yeah, we'll see it for sure. They are talking with Coach Schindler, which means they're probably wondering what he wants to do. I think Coach Schindler is just trying to confirm maybe what the down situation would be here, because it was 3rd down on that play. And if this gets penalized back in where the chains were, it'll still be 3rd down. That's a hold on the Blackhawks. Again, the run was to the right sideline. This penalty is on the left sideline, 20 yards upfield. I mean, that is just nowhere near the play.
Yeah, I don't even know if that hold really affects the play that you maybe even throw the flag.
I think that's a good question to ask, too.
You know, does it really even impact the game?
Right.
I guess it is, but you know, like we said, it's for sure 30 yards away, 10 yards. You know, that's a tough play for Hinton there.
And now we get a whistle, and Kadrian Harderson is arguing the play. I think he's questioning the down. I hate to say Kadrian is incorrect here, but I think because the penalty was on the same play, it remains 3rd down. Coach Harderson's not liking the explanation he's getting, so now he's going to talk to a second referee. I don't know the rule for sure, but in every interpretation I've seen of a holding penalty in this kind of situation, the down of the previous play has stayed true.
I don't really know what he's arguing, I guess.
Yeah, I think he's arguing that it should be first down because the play resulted in a first down, but I'm not sure.
Maybe he thought it was more dead ball. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be. Anyway, 3rd down and 7. Hinton's got it at their own 28. Snap back to Mathiasen. 5-step drop, looking for a deep ball along the right sideline. Single coverage, and he overthrows his target. Max Costello, the intended target. Looked like it was Wyatt Coons downfield defensively. It'll be 4th and 7. And with 4:16 to go, down 2 possession, Blackhawks really have no choice but to go for it.
Yeah, that could have been a big play because Costello's 6'5", 6'6" out there, and Wyatt's 5'8", obviously big mismatches. Hinton's got a lot of tall guys on the outside, and Gehlen's corners are definitely not very tall, but they've been in the right position. Wyatt was actually close to picking that one off too, so they're definitely just relying on fundamentals and footwork and practice, so it's good to see that out of them boys.
So here we go, 4:16 to play, and this is pretty much the ball game for the Blackhawks. Down 2 scores, it's 4th down and 7 at their own 28. Mathiasen, 3-step drop, looks to throw over the middle. He's got a target, he's got Zach Anderson, breaks away from a defender across midfield to the 40, 30, 25, 20, chased down from behind and tackled into the red zone at the 19-yard line. Touchdown saving tackle from Drake Knipe, but a huge gain for the Blackhawks, 53 yards, and more than enough for a Hinton first down.
Yeah, good play out of Drake there to run him down, but obviously he caught it in traffic there and just kind of hit a second gear and kind of got away from a few guys, and Drake was able to catch him, so that's nice to see, especially with 4 minutes left. Really didn't want to see that play happen.
That might have saved any chance of a comeback here for Hinton. They still have all 3 timeouts. They're in the red zone now at the 20. 1st and 10 for Hinton. Mathiasen in the gun. Bell high snap. Play action fake. Throws a fade. Right sideline. Jump ball is overthrown. Incomplete. They were looking for Costello on the right sideline. Wyatt Coons there. Blackhawks want contact. Don't get it. It's 2nd and 10.
Yeah, that was a big play out of Wyatt. Good position again. That Mathiasen's throwing a nice ball out there. Getting the ball, get some air under it, giving his receivers a chance to catch it, which is what you want, out of your quarterback and receivers there. So, but Gehlen's relying on good hips and footwork and being in the right spot there.
So 2nd down and 20. Hinton at the Gehlen 20, or 2nd down and 10 from the 20. Mathiasen, Bell high snap, 3-step drop, quick pass left side. That is caught along the left numbers, 15-10. Across the 10 to the 9 goes Jake Wager, an 11-yard gain. It's 1st and goal for Hinton.
Yeah, all importantly, though, they're staying in bounds, clock keep running. It'd be nice if Gehlen could hold them here, or make them run about 3, 4, 5 more plays, eat another minute or two, it'd be a big-time play here.
3:30 to go. Hinton has 1st and goal from the 9. Mathiasen rolls out to his right off the shotgun snap, plants his feet. Now he's pressured, looking to the right sideline. He goes out of bounds. He's hit late. There's a penalty flag thrown. Duncan Mathiasen was hit out of bounds after picking up a couple of yards. There's a penalty on the play. It'll be for a late hit.
Yeah, definitely didn't want to see that in that scenario. Looked like he was out of bounds before he even made contact with him.
Now, from a yardage standpoint, this won't be super impactful, but I believe it will also give the Blackhawks a first down again.
That's probably the more important thing, is they get a full, 4 downs again, like we've been talking about. Especially in this scenario, down 14, but within the 10-yard line, it's a 4-down territory anyway. So it would have been nice to keep that at 3rd down, not giving them a first down here.
3:17 to go, and now Hinton has it at the Gehlen 3, down 14, 20-6 Gehlen here late in the 4th quarter. Mathiasen out of the pistol, takes a bell high snap, quick drop, looking to throw. Nobody's open, now he throws over the middle. He's got his target, and a tiptoe in the back of the end zone. It's a touchdown. The target found, Mason White with the score, and the Blackhawks make it a 1-score game. It's 20-12 on the American Bank scoreboard.
Yeah, just too much time back there to pick the defense apart. Didn't get much pressure. Had good coverage right away, but when you give them 3, 4, 5 seconds back there, it's bound for somebody to get open eventually in the end zone.
And now Max Costello will try and get an all-important PAT to give Hinton a chance of making it a 7-point game. Last PAT was blocked. Snap and spot are good. Right-footed kick, plenty of leg. It is no good. Wide left. It hooked wide left. The PAT is no good. It remains an 8-point game, and with 3:08 to play, Gehlen will get the ball, trying to salt it away when we come back here on KLEM.
Connected Electric South is your electrical headquarters for residential, commercial, and agriculture. Call for a free quote today at 546-5062. Call Connected Electric South for all your electrical needs. 546-5062. Murphy, Collins, and McGill PLC in Lamars supports our local student athletes, trusted for generations with reliable legal guidance. So when you are in need of legal services, consult with one of the attorneys at Murphy, Collins, and McGill PLC, located at 38 First Avenue Northwest, Lamars, Iowa.
Floyd Valley Healthcare wants you to play at the peak of your skills. Don't forget to stretch your muscles, hydrate, and schedule your wellness check to reach your full potential. Best of luck from Floyd Valley Healthcare of Lamars.
This is Wyatt Kuntz, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
Well, we've had a great Week 1 game so far. It's been very competitive, very entertaining, and it continues on here into the fourth quarter. Alongside TJ Britton, I'm Daniel Versteg with 3:08 to play. Gehlen Catholic gives up a score. It is a 3-yard touchdown pass from Mathiasen to White. And now Galen's got their hands team out there anticipating an onside kick. See if the Blackhawks do it, or now if they'll just kick it over everybody's head.
It'll be interesting to see here what they decide to do.
And 9 guys are 10 to 15 yards away from the ball, and so Max Costello will just boot it away. This one dying inside the 5. Jays have to run to pick it up. And now it's Kyler Van Voorst looking to run right numbers. He stopped inside the 10. The Blackhawks get down there and shut the return down. Kyler Van Voorst stopped right at the 10-yard line, and now Gehlen will stare their own end zone down just 10 yards away from it with first down and 10.
Yeah, that's a big kick there, but he held on to it. That's the important part here. So just got to have a couple nice runs, get a couple first downs here, have all their timeouts, but just got to kind of try to salt it away and move it down, maybe try to put another score in the end zone.
I think ideally for Gehlen, they can win it with 2 first downs. 1 might be good enough depending on when it comes, but 2 would be for sure safe. Hinton has all 3 timeouts. Gehlen has all 3 timeouts. Here we go. It's an 8-point game as Carson Schecker lines up under center. Coons in the backfield takes the snap. He gives to Wyatt. The Blackhawks pressure the run well, and Coons is only able to get a yard to the 11-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 9, and the Blackhawks will use their first of 3 timeouts.
Yeah, we need a big run here. Need to open up a hole and see what we can get going. Need to get that, like you said, that first down and run them out of timeouts too.
So there's one, 2:58 to go. We're going to keep it here and remind you our post-game coverage is coming up after the conclusion of the ball game. We're going to recap the contest, get you some scores from around the listening area, some great games taking place around Plymouth County and around the KLEM area. I'm going to try and get you a score update on Akron Westfield MMCRU. Not have been able to get a ton of luck looking off of their stream as their scoreboard is not always coming through on that stream, but we'll try and pass along an update for you once we get a chance to do that. Again, the last update we had Lamar's Community up 28-14 on Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln. I believe that game is final. It is. So the Bulldogs start the year off 1-0 with a good non-conference win against a 5A team. How about that? Not a bad way to start for Coach Vigdal's squad. You'll be able to hear all about that game coming up tomorrow morning on the Coach's Corner. We start the program at 8:05. So out of Hinton's first timeout, 2:58 to go in the game. It is 2nd down and 9 for Gehlen at their own 11-yard line.
Yeah, we need a couple big runs here. Keep that clock going. Need to create a little space up front and get Wyatt's legs going. I expect to see a heavy dose of run, obviously, here. Probably don't want to let incomplete pass happen or anything like that. Don't want Hinton to keep any timeouts either.
Schecker goes under center. Tight end either side, a receiver either side. Coons in the backfield. He turns, pitches it left. Off tackle run. Wyatt Coons toward the numbers, near the 15. Sidesteps a defender across the 15. He is down at the 16. It's a gain of 5. He stayed in bounds as well, which is going to force a Hinton timeout. So a gain of 5. It'll be 3rd down and 4. We'll have the 3rd down play when we come back. 2:50 to go. It's 20-12 Gehlen Catholic. Stay tuned. More high school football coming up next on KLEM.
For all of your commercial or residential concrete or construction needs, JMax Construction is ready for you. At JMax Construction, you can be sure that your project will be handled with great customer service as well as the best of class construction and concrete work. Call JMax Construction and Concrete today at 540-0574.
Siouxland Glass is so glad you're supporting local athletes and listening to this great matchup. Siouxland Glass wants me to tell you that if you have a chip or crack in your windshield or need the whole thing replaced, you can call them at 540-9080. Siouxland Glass.
Score big with the Sitzman Real Estate Team. Hometown realtors Shane, Peggy, Lance, and Patty are cheering the Lamar's Bulldogs and Gehlen Jays on to a victory. Buying or selling, call the Sitzman Real Estate Team today at 546-7881.
This is Easton Spangler, and you're listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
Out of the timeout, 2:50 to go. It's 20-12. Gehlen leads Hinton. 3rd down and 4 from the 16. The Blackhawks move at the line. It's an encroachment penalty, a neutral zone infraction, and that penalty will give the Jays a first down to the 21-yard line.
You hate to see that on the Hinton sideline. That's a backbreaker. You know, during the timeout, you and I were just talking that Gehlen got a first down. It'd be real tough to for them to get the ball back, and they still do have one timeout. So, you know, they still could, I guess, but that's tough right there. You'd like to see Gehlen have to run the ball there and try to get it on 4th down or punt it away or whatever, you know.
Yeah, the only bright side for Hinton on that is they still have one timeout. Jays are lining up under center, not quite in victory formation. Schecker will give to Coons straight ahead. He's wrapped up, trying to stay up and just go down. He is down now at the 21, right at the line of scrimmage. It'll be no gain. 2nd and 10. Blackhawks are not using that timeout yet. Trying to find probably the best time to use it.
Yeah, obviously here we want Wyatt to you know, 2 arms on that ball, 2 hands on the ball, trying to tuck it in. Don't let them rip it out. It's a big play here.
Do want to pass along a huge final score, by the way, from Akron. Akron-Westfield beat MMCRU tonight 18-13. The defending state champions in Class A start the year 0-1. How about that win for Coach John Sievert and the boys in red after going 2-6 last year? 2nd and 9 from the 22. Here's a pitch play left. Coons running off tackle, now cuts it back in between the tackles, and he's brought down inside the 25 of the 24. Gain of 2. It'll be 3rd down and 7.
Looks like a timeout there by Hinton.
Yep, they are going to use a timeout, so I'll tell you what, we'll take one as well. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. More high school football coverage coming up next on KLEM.
Make sure your life runs smoothly with an upgraded internet package from Premier Communications, connecting you with the internet speed and television access package that best fits your wants and needs. Premier Communications is happy to support our area coaches, athletes, and the parents who support them. Have a great season.
Klein Insulation wants to provide you with a complete insulation system for your attic, crawl space, and foundation walls. Call Kyle today with Klein Insulation at 540-5691. That's 540-5691.
Gehlen Catholic School, excellence in education, leadership through Christ. For information, check their website at GehlenCatholic.org.
This is Eddie Venegas, and you're listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
And we are back to Hinton with 1:59 to play. Hinton's all out of timeouts now, and now it's 3rd and 7. So there is a realistic chance the Blackhawks get the ball. Got to do some math right at a minute to go, I think, in the best case scenario. So we'll see. And again, right now, even if the Blackhawks get the ball back, the best they can do is send this to overtime. It's
with no timeouts, though, too.
You're right.
To be noted, no minute, no timeouts, heavy run team. Yeah. It's an uphill battle, that's for sure, but can be done.
Schecker lines up in the gun. Motions Drake Knipe right to left. They're giving it to Coons. He breaks a tackle in the backfield. Not able to get any further. He loses yards. Back to the 22. Loss of 2 will make it 4th and 9. And now the Blackhawks will have to watch the clock tick down. It's going to tick down to about 1:15. And I would anticipate Coach Schindler using a timeout here.
Loss on the play.
Yeah, that was a nice play out of Hinton defense there. Gehlen ran a little motion right to left there. Didn't get anything going as Wyatt came back to the right side and just stood up in that backfield. That's too bad there, but you know, still looking good. Just got to get the punt off and play stout defense here.
Coach Schindler is standing with the referee. Play clock's inside of 3, now at 2, now at 1, and Coach Schindler uses his timeout. Now at 1:13 to play in the game. So Gehlen Catholic will have 2 timeouts remaining, up 20-12. We're going to keep it here as, once again, we'll have post-game coverage for you tonight. And again, coming up tomorrow morning, we're going to have Lamar's head coach Ken Vigdahl, Gehlen Catholic head coach Jeremy Schindler, and we are going to hope, I've not contacted him yet, but I'm going to try and get Akron Westfield head coach John Sievert after their big 18-13 win over MMCRU. Should be a great Coach's Corner tomorrow. We'll hope you tune in starting at 8:05. If you can't make it live, we'll also have an archive for you on our website, KLEM1410.com. It was funny. We chatted with John previous to the season starting, and after we were done, he told me, well, I think we might shock some folks against MMCRU. And I was thinking, you know what, that's good coach speak, trying to pump your kids up. But he said, no, I really think it. I think we're gonna come out and surprise some people. I thought that meant keeping it close and losing. Boy, silly me, right?
That's a big win
That's
for
a
them.
huge win.
Confidence booster for sure. First game of the year. State champion last year. Just kind of, it's a big momentum for them to build on the rest of the year, especially after only winning 2 games last year.
Yeah, 2-6.
So good job for the Westers.
So here we go, 4th and 9 on the punt after we enjoy the timeout. Blackhawks will look for a good return. That punt is blocked! The punt is blocked! It's loose inside the 15, and no matter who's got it, the Blackhawks will be set up well. Hinton blocked the punt. They're going to start in the red zone of the 15-yard line. Can you believe it?
Yeah, I don't like to see that. Just a little too long in the backfield there. Too much pressure, obviously. That's not what we wanted to see right there.
I didn't see who blocked the punt or by any means who recovered it. There were so many black jerseys in there. There were so many guys who could have gotten a hand on it. And now Hinton will start with the ball at the Gehlen 13. So here you go, 1 minute and 8 seconds, and the Blackhawks are within striking distance, but they need a touchdown and 2 just to tie the game. So keep that in mind. This is still far from over or far from decided. 1st and 10 at the Gehlen 13. Mathiasen tight end motions right to left. Mathiasen to the gun. Shoulder high snap. He rolls left. Pressure from the right side. Throws into the flats. The ball is caught across the 10. And Zach Anderson run out of bounds by Chase Christoffel at the 9. A gain of 4. It's 2nd and 6.
Kept him in bounds. That was big. The clock's still running.
Oh, yeah, the clock is running. 50 seconds
That's
left.
big time there.
That's huge. I thought he got out of bounds, but I guess he was tackled out, so the Blackhawks have to hurry. Mathiasen, knee-high snap, drops to throw. He looks to scramble. He's sacked. A loss of 3. Colden Wilson, Drake Hodson back to the 12. 3rd and 9. No timeouts for Hinton. 30 seconds left.
Yeah, that was big pressure up the middle for Drake, kind of forced him right into Colden's hands there, and then they kind of tackled him together. That's big-time play up the middle by Drake.
Boy, the Blackhawks have to hurry. They're running clock down, 20 seconds left. Mathiasen drops to pass, 3rd and 9, rolling left, looking to throw, directing traffic, throws to the back of the end zone, incomplete. Incomplete. It'll be 4th and 9 at the 12, 14 seconds to go.
Yeah, I don't think anyone was really in the area there, and maybe a little too deep anyway, but Gehlen couldn't get any pressure there, so he did have some time. Fortunate for us on this one here, he kind of just threw it out of the back of the end zone.
Worth noting, Hinton can get a first down without scoring. They only have about a 3-yard window to do so, but if that's something they want to try to go for here, they could. But at this point, the ball game is right now.
Probably need to get out of bounds if you do something like that, obviously. Not gonna in high school, not going to get much going with 14 seconds left.
Yeah, so 4th and 9. Mathiasen in the gun, rolls out to his right, trying to score to have a chance to tie it. He's looking to throw to the end zone, throws it back in the end zone, leaping try, ball is incomplete. Max Costello was amongst 3 Jays. He got his hands on the ball but couldn't bring it in. It's a turnover on downs. Gehlen will escape Hinton with an 8-point win.
Wow, that was 1 finger away from being a touchdown. That was a nice play by Costello, nice play by the Jays. Hate to see it for Hinton, love to see it for Gehlen, right? So that's tough though. He was, in traffic, but he's, 6'5", 6'6" kid like we talked about, big, strong, 210, 220, something like that. And, he's just a big all-around athlete. He's a tough kid, good athlete in all sports.
So Gehlen can knee this out. Hinton's all out of timeouts as we talked about, so they have no chance to stop this clock. And now it is, as one would say, the most beautiful play in all of football, the victory formation. Schecker under center, and he knees it out, and Gehlen will escape Hinton with a win, an 8-point victory by the score of 20-12. Gehlen starts the year 1-0. It's their first win over Hinton in 4 years.
Yeah, that's a big time win for the Jays there. Not only to win the first game, but like you just said, haven't beat them in 4 years. A class bigger than them. We knew it was gonna be a hard-fought battle. They're really physical. Gehlen had some new pieces, so did Hinton. Love to see him come out on top.
Final score once again, Gehlen 20, Hinton 12. Gehlen starts 1-0. Before district play begins next week, Blackhawks open the year 0-1. We'll take a break, and our post-game coverage gets started when you come back to Hinton. Stay tuned. You're listening to High School Football on KLEM.
Willow Lodge Pet Resort wants to wish all of our area athletes best of luck in tonight's game. Whether leaving town for vacation or just need a place for your pet during the workday, see Willow Lodge Pet Resort today on Prospect Street in Lamars.
Supporting our students in their endeavors at school is important to Prime Bank. Making sure that our students have the best chance for success is why we work hard to provide our backing. Prime Bank wishes all of our teams and groups good luck.
Your home deserves a roof you can count on and siding that looks great for years to come. From a brand new roof to quality siding, Shrunk Roofing has the experience and craftsmanship to protect your home and give it a fresh, finished look. Whether you're building, remodeling, or replacing an aging roof or siding, trust the local team that knows what it takes to get the job done right. Shrunk Roofing, quality roofing and siding built to protect what matters most.
Touchdown for great times at the Lamars Eagles Club. Join us Tuesday nights for bingo, and don't miss our delicious Wednesday night burger night. Proud sponsors of local athletics, where the fun never stops. Visit the Eagles Club this week.
When it comes to service, your Lamar's Hy-Vee is #1 for shopping both in-store and online. Save with the Fuel Saver Plus Perks Rewards program at Hy-Vee, where there's a helpful smile in every aisle.
Quality Lube of Lamar's is proud of all our Plymouth County athletes. At Quality Lube, they focus on you, the customer, to ensure that they can keep you on the road when you need to be. From diagnostic repair to routine oil changes, Quality Lube can do it all.
Bob's Bike Shop, your power sports headquarters. Yamaha, Can-Am, and Club Cars. They've got the ride that fits your wild side. Visit them today on Highway 75 North in Lamars. Proud sponsor of your local sports action.
A home is a safe place to be, a roof over your head, and 4 walls to keep out the heat and cold. It's a child's laughter, a mother's song, and a father's strength. It's where we go for comfort and to share joy. It's your first school and your first church. It's where memories are shared. Hi, this is Julie Hurt, your Century 21 ProLink real estate agent. Whatever a home means to you, I am here to help you find the home you are looking for. Call 540-7757 and let me, Julie Hurt, help you make a house your new home.
At Roosters Harley-Davidson in Sioux City, you can find your perfect ride with bikes, gear, and service you can trust. Find them online at roostersh-d.com or stop by Roosters Harley-Davidson today, where your next ride is waiting.
Colbeck Incorporated is proud to support local high school athletics. They encourage you to play hard and play smart and always show good sportsmanship. Best of luck from your friends, Brian, Kevin, and Wayne Colbeck.
This is Drake Hodson, and you are listening to Jays Football on KLEM.
Well, we welcome you back to our post-game coverage tonight from Hinton. What a way to open the season. Week 1 sees the Gehlen Catholic Jays defeat Hinton tonight by a final score of 20-12. Alongside TJ Britton, Daniel Versteg with you. Fun way to open the new year as Gehlen starts the year 1-0. And TJ, it's a very typical Week 1 game. We were talking about it throughout the break. We talked about it throughout the night. A lot of these coaches will have a lot of things to clean up tonight, even on Gehlen's side after being victorious.
Yeah, penalties, turnovers, probably missed assignments, different things like that. Probably a little bit of running, goes into it when you have all those penalties. But, it was both teams. It wasn't one side or the other. Can be expected, like we've talked about, new guys. Some guys maybe playing different spots. Spangler's moving from in the backfield to the line. You have guys in different places. So, sometimes that happens when you move guys around. But all in all, got to be happy with the win. Hinton's probably pretty disappointed just the way they played. They feel like they probably had a few drives that were killed by some penalties, things like that maybe would have changed the outcome of the game.
Yeah, they had multiple double-digit yard gain plays that were called back due to penalties, and those were backbreakers. Top player in this game offensively, Wyatt Coons, unofficially, again, I'll highlight that, unofficially 37 rushes for 180 yards and 2 touchdowns tonight. Huge game for Wyatt offensively. He was, quite literally, all of Gehlen's offense.
Yeah, like we talked about earlier, no one else went in the backfield there. And, they had a few effective passes, but I think that then just sets up more for Wyatt, and that's the idea of it, I suppose. But we expect that, 1,100 yards or whatever it was, 1,000 yards last year, 10 touchdowns, him building on that. Love to see it out on week 1. 32, you say 32 carries?
37.
37
yeah.
carries. It's a lot of carries in week 1, but those legs are ready to go. Maybe they'll skim it down as the playbook opens up as weeks go on, because obviously week 1 the playbook's probably a little thinner than it will be week 2, 3, and 4.
Yes.
You start installing some more stuff. So Gehlen will clean things up, probably get some more guys in the action. But love to see it for Wyatt, love to see it for the boys up front. They like to see him running for that many yards, so it's good for them.
And the toughness shown late. Gehlen had a chance to lose this game, or at least go to overtime with that block punt. But they found a way with Hinton starting a drive in the red zone there inside of a minute to go. They found a way to keep them out of a 6-point score.
Yeah, it doesn't always have to be pretty. Sometimes that stuff happens. Probably expected it. Gehlen, when they took that time out, probably talked about the coverage, things like that. Obviously, somebody missed something, but we kind of talked about there's about 4 guys back there, so maybe a few guys missed some things. But, got to clean that up, especially late in the game. They punt that away. It doesn't get so dicey there at the end, get so scary for them. But their defense played pretty well most of the night, so they're probably pretty confident even there. So hate to see that block punt, but love to see the outcome of it there at the end.
20-12, the final score. Gehlen Catholic a victor tonight. They'll open the season 1-0. We'll have a full recap of this game coming up tomorrow on our KLEM Sports Update. And, of course, on the Coach's Corner, we'll have Jeremy Schindler join us to recap the game. Got to highlight some final scores from around the listening area tonight. As in Class A, the big game of the night, Akron-Westfield defeats 7th-ranked MMCRU 18-13. The Westerners start the year 1-0. Hat tip to John Sievert and the crew as Akron-Westfield picks up a big 5-point win over MMCRU. Lamar's Community defeated Council Bluffs Abe Lincoln tonight 28-14. It was a shootout in Remsen tonight as top-ranked Audubon defeated Remsen St. Mary's 74-30. And then 3rd-ranked Bishop Garrigan, the defending champions, beat Kingsley Pearson tonight 49-6. We'll have all those scores and more for you on our KLEM website, KLEM1410.com. Make sure you check that out. Some great resources all throughout the high school football season so you can stay best in the know with how some area teams are doing. But again, that'll wrap up our coverage for you here tonight. Again, the final score, Gehlen 20, Hinton 12. Jays are home next week to start district play against Sibley Cheaton. And the Blackhawks will be at the aforementioned MMCRU. Boy, I don't think many people saw that as 2 0-1 teams getting together in Marcus next week.
No, I don't think so. I think if you both asked both those coaching staffs, they probably both thought they'd be 1-0. So probably a few changes they'll both have to make. Yeah. I don't think they'll rewrite the playbook or anything like that, write the season off, anything. Some things to build on. There's some nice things. The runs were good, just got to get away from those penalties. I don't know how that Akron game went for MMCRU, but, expected big things out of them this year. Again, I know they graduated a lot, but still a lot of success there, and success does breed success, Yep,
absolutely. They had a great school year last year. See if they can still make something out of it this year. Again, the final score tonight, Gehlen Catholic 20, Hinton 12. And that'll do it for our broadcast tonight. For Nick Gengler running our video stream, for my partner TJ Britton, I'm Daniel Versteg. You have been listening to High School Football. We're glad you've done that right here on KLEM Lamar's. Good evening, everyone.
This is 1410 KLEM Lamar's and on 96.9 FM.